Today is the first day that you can buy a 500 hertz gaming monitor. The Alienware AW2524H is out now and on sale. And whether you're a professional head clicker or just an enthusiastic amateur, hey, who put that? We've proven that a higher refresh rate is one of the tangible things that you can do to step up your game. And we tested with everyone from, no offense, Paul, from Paul's Hardware, everyone from that aforementioned enthusiastic amateur to the one and only Shroud. But your monitor is nothing without a PC to drive it. And a monitor like this deserves an equally top-of-the-line PC to take advantage of every single one of those hertz. So we're going to be bringing the pain to your wallet because this thing is top spec for everything. A new case we've never used before with a screen in it. We've got a RTX 4090. We've got, oh yes, the all-new 7950X3D. And, well, if all of that sounds a little difficult to swallow, we've also got sensible alternate choices for everything that is still really high-end if you want 90% of the performance at a much more reasonable price. The only question that remains now is, once we're finished building this PC, how many games can we actually play above 500 FPS? So we are just going to go ahead and get started. First, with the introduction to the Alienware AW2524H. I'm not sure I quite fully understand the rationale behind that name, but 2524H, so it's a 24.5-inch monitor on sale today in North America for $830. It's actually been out in China since February the 8th, but I guess we get things later here now. It has an NVIDIA G-Sync module. Don't get scared off by the price point, guys. You don't have to buy a monitor like this. We're going to actually have our full review of this thing coming out tomorrow. But all you need to know for now is that until the Asus ROG Swift 500 hertz monitor that they showed off at Computex 22 comes out, this is the only way to get 500 hertz on your desktop today. What can we really say about it? I mean, there's a few things we didn't actually cover in the review, like this headphone holder. Other than that, I think we just basically need to move on. Is that wild or what? $800 for a 1080p monitor. All right, let's get this system started. Of course, naturally, we are starting with the CPU. When we want to get, what kind of, is this in any particular order here?
Yes. Do you want a phone prompter so you can look at this camera?
Yeah, no, I don't know. Harrison, do you mind firing that up on my laptop, please?
You got it.
Okay, let's start with the CPU. I'm working entirely off my notes here. Don't be confused by this box. This is a box for the 7950X. We've, of course, gone with the AMD Ryzen 9 7950X3D. This is not really a conventional gaming build in the sense that normally I would say, hey, if you want to save a buck, you are far better off under normal circumstances cheaping out a little bit on your CPU and spending more on your GPU, because most people are going to be far more GPU limited than they are going to be CPU limited. Of course, it's going to depend on the kinds of games you're playing. It's going to depend on the resolution of your monitor. But again, when we're talking about most people, you're going to want to play a variety of games, and you probably aren't running at 1080p if you are considering spending, 40 series money on a GPU. You're probably at 1440p or even 4K. And if that's the case, you're going to run into a GPU bottleneck long before your CPU is going to be a problem in the vast majority of titles. But that's not the case today. And this is one of those situations where it's less about just getting the fastest GPU and then not worrying about everything else. And it's more about making sure that every single part of the system is tuned for the absolute maximum in alleviating CPU bottlenecks. Because we're targeting 500 hertz, in fact, I am willing to bet that in some cases, we're not even really going to be GPU bottlenecked at all. Hey, thank you so much. For our motherboard, we've gone with an Aorus something or other. Let's figure out what that, wait, what? Nope. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, Jake was ranting about this before the stream started, how we've got a lot of new people here right now, and I'm not going to name any names, mostly because I actually don't know who it was, but people just don't really know what our processes and procedures are, so things are getting put back without all their accessories. I looked down at this motherboard and I went, oh, okay, Aorus, because it happens to have a gigabyte CPU socket cover on it to protect the pins on the socket. But nope, this is an ROG Crosshair X670E Hero. And the reason we chose this is, I mean, realistically, probably just because it was there. And it's a motherboard that supports everything that we needed to support. And I don't see anything in here about it. Yes, we're using the best AMD CPU currently available, so our choice of motherboard has to match that. All the ports and expansion that you could want, and some pretty powerful overclocking options that my script says we might take a look at later, but I actually sincerely doubt that. This is an X3D chip. There's not going to be a whole lot that we can do to squeeze more out of it, realistically. AMD has really... this is their finest silicon. The way that they designed this CPU is not quite like what Intel did, where they've got their hybrid architecture with their P cores, their performance cores, and their efficiency cores, but it's still sort of a heterogeneous design. The cores, the actual compute on this one is all the same, okay? So it's got 16 total cores, and I think it turbos up to what? Like 5.7 gigahertz. But 8 of the cores have the regular allocation of cache, and 8 of the cores have their 3D V-cache. So they have this dramatically expanded amount of cache. In the previous 5800X3D, so the last generation X3D chip, it was 3D V-cache, all cores all the time. But here, this is super cool. AMD has built software tools that will allow your operating system to select which cores are more likely to be optimal for a given workload. So for something like productivity, where you're using all cores, realistically, it's going to actually perform a little bit worse than a regular 7950 non-X3D. And the reason for that is that the non-3D V-cache cores can suck more power, they can turbo higher. It seems like there's some sensitivity to high current, high voltages with their 3D V-cache. Whereas if you are gaming, for example, it'll say, hey, that other die that doesn't have 3D V-cache, let's kind of park that for now. We're going to focus this entire load on the 3D V-cache die, and that's how they're able to get better performance. So someday, a long time from now in the future, if we actually get games that will fully utilize 16 cores, this may not actually have a benefit over a regular 7950, but it is not this day. I don't know that, I hate to do this kind of thing, but I don't know that realistically we are ever going to see a CPU, or a game, excuse me, that is going to fully utilize 16 cores. There's just a lot of things about games that are inherently serial. They just can't be processed in parallel. Off sort of the PC building topic for a second here. Just want to check in with you guys and see how y'all are doing. No games as we understand them today. I mean, that's a fair point. We could end up with experiences, some kind of gaming experience that can be parallelized much more than what we're doing today, but certainly nothing the likes of which we're playing right now. Let's go ahead and do our RAM next. What did we end up using? Oh, sick. I think this is exactly the same RAM that I picked up to put in XQC's build in the event that he had any issues with his RAM. That's awesome. So this is a G.Skill Trident Z5 RGB kit. It runs at 6,000 megatransfers per second, CL30, and this is a 32x2, so a 64 gig kit, meaning this is about as high-end as it gets for an AMD Ryzen system. I think we possibly could have gone ever so slightly tighter on the timings if we went with a 32 gig kit, but 64 gigs is sort of your future-looking, but not entirely a waste of money configuration for RAM. Before we move on, we've actually got something really exciting to announce, and it's sort of AMD CPU related. Right now on LTT Store, we are running an absolutely wild promo. On these two sizes, of the Team Red CPU pillow. So the big Team Red CPU pillow, as well as our Threadripper pillow in the, let's see, what does this have? No, it doesn't have the dimensions on it. Perfect, that makes sense. Well, whatever. This size of the Threadripper pillow, there is a chance, and I think I have the talking points here, at least I really hope so. Oh, where is it? I can be a little bit more organized today. Hey, there we go. Limited time offer. Okay, so in our 50 by 50 CPU pillow Team Red and our 64.5 by 50 centimeter Threadripper pillow, you could receive a real CPU valued at $161.18 to $698.99 with your purchase based on a random draw. When each order is prepared at our warehouse, our team will use a 100-number randomizer to select whether the buyer will receive a free CPU with their order or not. Odds of winning are 12 in 100, or 3 in 25. There are 204 prizes available total. 70 have been awarded already. And once all the prizes are giving away, they will not be restocked or be made available again. At least we are not committing to anything like that. No purchase is necessary. One free entry is available by mail to our distribution center. We'll have the information for that in the video description, Dan, if you could please make sure that's down there. And customers and free entries from Quebec are not eligible for this promotion. So guys, check it out, lttstore.com. Get your very own CPU pillow in Team Red variety or Threadripper variety, and you too could have this experience. Okay, well, you see the hole in the pillow is a little small. It got a little, okay, the point is that don't worry, it won't be in there. we'll pack them separately. I think, is the 5800X3D the top SKU that is in that range? The point is, there's a variety of different CPUs that could arrive, and it's a pretty cool promo. All right, let's keep moving. Oh, right, and don't forget, guys, our producer Dan is sitting over there to handle your merch messages. So when you're checking out on LTT Store, whether it's a water bottle or the sick new 3D down jacket or one of these Threadripper or Team Red pillows, you can leave a merch message in the checkout, and it'll either pop up along the bottom of the stream, or Dan will curate them for me to address later, or what are the other options? Oh yeah, right, or Dan can reply to you in the bottom of the screen as well. All right. Man, we're making really good progress today. I always feel like this when we do builds. Like, wow, we're basically done. Out of the 8 or 9 components that go in a computer, we've got like, 3 of them done already. All right, let's move on to our, in the cart. Conrad corrected me. It's in the cart where you will find merch messages. Sorry, Conrad. I'm sure these smart people will figure it out. My one weakness. Okay, we are gonna have fixed. Oh, Harrison, can you ask engineering to bring over the prototypes of the fixed shaft screwdrivers? I don't know if any of them have a Phillips head, so I'm just gonna use a different screwdriver in the meantime. But hey, if we're gonna leak stuff on live streams, let's leak stuff properly. We have fixed shaft screwdrivers coming, and we've actually made a lot of progress on them. I'm really excited to show them to you guys. They're gonna be very different from this, but also remind you of it. I mean, it's a screwdriver. How different do you expect it to be? Anyway, the point is, hopefully okay. Well, not that. Not that. It's a what now?
To the right of the case behind you.
Oh, you got a screwdriver already?
I got the iFixit kit.
Oh, well, no, the iFixit kit won't work either.
Oh.
It's fine. It's a recessed mounting hole, or screw hole, so I need an actual, like, long shaft screwdriver, which you can tell a lot about a man by the state of his organization in his workshop. Don't learn too much about me right now.
Battery bank with the cable.
Don't worry about the battery bank.
I need it.
What is the purpose of this flash? Ah! That is extremely bright. More than I can say about my actions. Ooh! Hello. Yes. That'll gonna do it. I just want iFixit to know, just because we have some tools coming doesn't mean that we don't still love you guys the most. Their mission is so important, everything that they're working on, and there's a lot of stuff that iFixit does that there's just, they have such a huge first mover advantage. I don't know that anyone will ever catch up to them in terms of like that repository of guides and all the different replacement parts and everything that they have. So don't worry, iFixit. We want to make some really great tools and stuff, but you guys are still the alphas. All right, let's talk about our drive. We've gone with, you know what? It doesn't matter. Look, we uploaded that video this week, and I got to tell you guys some backstory. Okay, so we got early access, right, to Crucial's first PCIe Gen 5 M.2 drive. And we were really excited about it, obviously, because, A, we love high-speed technology, and, especially some of the folks here are big nerds for it, Jake and myself included. And B, we obviously love getting early access to stuff for content, right? But there was some, I think, miscommunication around this one at some point with the lab, because they ended up doing a lot more testing than I expected them to do on it, looking for some kind of scenario where it offered an advantage. Like they were in a way kind of too excited about it, to the point where they got the results and they were sitting there going, this doesn't affect anything in the real world. Surely we must keep digging, keep looking for some way that PCIe Gen 5 SSD is going to offer a clear benefit. And I found out about it after the fact, and I kind of went, hey everyone, no, we weren't expecting any kind of benefit from this whatsoever in real world, especially gaming, like in real world game loading times. So can we just shoot the video now? And they're like, let us see if we can figure. I'm like, yeah. You know what? Yes. In the longer term, I absolutely want to work on our SSD testing suite. I want to find ways to split these hairs, as finely as possible between these competing SSDs. But for today, for making this video where we basically have to just boil it down for the consumer, does it make sense to spend extra on a PCIe Gen 5 SSD? We already have our answer. It is possible that in the future we will get games that use, some future iteration of direct storage in order to stream assets off of your SSD directly to your GPU in a way that increases FPS or something like that. But without saying the F word, right? Future-proof. That's the F word. Without saying the F word, there's no way to justify that today on a system that is architected for that, like the PlayStation 5. Yeah, maybe it makes sense. But even the PS5, even with the pretty strong GPU that it has, as far as I can tell, nobody's really measured a huge performance impact between the top Gen 4 SSDs and the worst Gen 4 SSDs. So if we're sitting here going, okay, yeah, we've got a faster GPU, sure. But is it that much faster to the point where we not only need the best Gen 4, but even a Gen 5 SSD? You can color me skeptical on that one. You can also color me wanting to check in with Dan and see if he's got any merch messages for me. Dan, hit me!
Yeah, I got a couple here. Give me a second.
I'm sure you do. I'll get this cooler unpacked in the meantime.
Wide it is. There you go. This one's from Shane. Will we ever see a collab with DIY Perks? That would make an epic video.
I would love to. And without putting... I have a screw left over. Well, there's your problem. Without putting words into someone else's mouth, I'm pretty sure he would love to too. And the reason I know that is because we've spoken about it. And the reason we've never done anything is both of us are very hands-on in our content, right? Like we do stuff. And especially he does a lot of really long-term projects, right? Really cool projects. I mean, you guys see his latest thing with the DIY. Hisense's branding for it was ULED or ULED, but that dual stacked LCD panels thing to increase the light blockage. So cool, super cool. So he DIY'd it. And I'm sitting here going like, yeah, that's amazing. That's super cool. You know, obviously would love to collaborate with someone who does stuff that cool. But what does this collab look like, right? Like, is he flying over here for 3 weeks while we work on something? Am I flying over there for, you know, a month while we work on something? Obviously, the community would expect more than just, you know, we just get together and, you know, shoot the breeze, right? So how do we live up to the expectations of that collaboration without one of us having to, you know, leave behind our home for an extended period of time, something that doesn't necessarily make sense for either of us, for like our daily workflow and for our businesses and our personal lives and all that stuff. So that's the short explanation of why we've never collabed, because there's a lot of mutual respect there. There's a lot of desire to collab there. It just hasn't made sense. And neither of us, I don't think, wants to upload something that wouldn't be worthy, right? I'm not saying never. I'm definitely not saying never. If anything, I want it to happen. But it's just not, I don't know, we just haven't had the right stars align yet. Okay, well, that's installed properly now, so that's good. That explains why that didn't catch. I do kind of have an extra screw here, but I'm just gonna put it in here. Yeah. Cool. All right, hit me with another one, Dan.
All right, let's see what we got here. This is from Cameron. Ooh,
Hi,
finally
Cameron.
a big mouse pad. If you're reading, what Canadian vendors do you think have the best extended warranty policies? And are they worth it for computer components?
Wow. Man, who has the best high pressure sales tactic warranty coverage nonsense? Okay, to be clear, there are situations where an extended warranty makes a ton of sense, and I was known to be one to kind of optimize my extended warranties, you know, like really figure out the components that make sense to go extended warranty. And I would sometimes strategically buy things that I knew would be very difficult for them to meet the terms of their extended warranty on. An example of that is when I bought an HP iPac, not to be confused with the iPad. So it was a little pocket PC from HP that ran Windows. What was it? What was it called? Windows Pocket? I can't even remember. Windows Mobile? Whatever. It ran the weird mobile Windows, and it had this great game, Bubble Breaker. I spent far too many hours playing Bubble Breaker. The point is, I picked one intentionally that had a feature that I didn't care about at all, but that I knew would be very unlikely to be found on another similar product. I picked one with an IR blaster. And IR blasters are super cool because it allows you to use your phone as a universal remote without a Wi-Fi to infrared hub or repeater, like something like a Harmony hub, which, rest in peace, Logitech doesn't sell anymore. So I did that because when and if anything went wrong, and it did, I would be able to go to Future Shop, which was Canadian Best Buy at the time, and say, hey, you guys can't just give me that price equivalent one because mine has this feature that one doesn't have. So, ooh, that's exciting. Okay, we'll show that in a second. Mine has this feature that one doesn't have, so you actually have to give me the more expensive one to make up for it. And the terms of their extended warranty did, in fact, stipulate that they had to do that. So, as someone who mostly doesn't min-max things like that anymore, I haven't really carefully read through anyone's extended warranty terms in the last little while, but I would say that that's the key, is making sure that the extended warranty actually covers your butt and make sure that it does it in a way that is pretty favorable. And it varies from category to category. Even for Future Shop at the time, certain categories, like I would never buy computer components there other than GPUs, even if they were available, because they were allowed at their discretion to decide what was equivalent. But for PDAs, for whatever reason, the terms were slightly different, and it was handled more like consumer electronics and less like IT. They had these guidelines they had to hit. So you just got to kind of figure out, you know, where you can. I'm not going to say abuse the system, but certainly optimize the system. Optibuse. No, not abuse, David. Oh, actually, yeah, guys, I don't want you to abuse your amazing broad choices over here, but you get to choose what case we're going to use. Should we do a poll? Dan, do you know how to run a poll on Floatplane? Okay, I'll stand here, and I'm gonna, you know what? No, let's not do a poll. Let's do an applausometer. I wanna see the chats blow up, okay? We've got two options. We've got black, and we've got white. And this is the height, what is it, the Y70 or something like that? Y60. This thing is super cool. It's kind of like an aquarium style case. It's got this 100 and however many degrees this is. Yeah, 180 degree like panoramic window thing. Super cool. It's tempered glass. You guys ready? Black. Let's hear it for black. No, not you guys, the chat, David. Okay, let's wait for stream delays. Okay, Dan's gonna be the judge. Dan, you're the judge, okay?
People are using the other color.
Okay, no, they're just supposed to spam chat. They're supposed to just hit chat hard when I point to that one. Okay, ready? Here we go. We're gonna do a small break for the stream delay. Okay, now white.
Yeah!
Dang it, David. No, you're not participating.
I don't want the cases to feel bad.
Okay, Dan. You're gonna have to tell me who's the winner. Do I have to do it one more time?
No, I think we definitely have white as the winner here.
Oh, we have a clear winner.
Oh yeah, everybody's going nuts.
Okay, we're going for the white version of the case. Sorry, stealthy case.
Oh my god, I can't keep up. It's so fast.
Not today. All right, cool. I'm just gonna put this at the front, David. I'm just gonna move up there because I have kind of run out of space over here. This is pretty bad. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and get this baby torn down. This is my first time seeing this thing in person. My first interaction with it was actually when we did that sponsored video with Epic Games for PC building and PC build simulator. PC building simulator? I think it's PC building simulator. And this was one of the cases in the game, and I was like, oh, that thing's super cool. I'm gonna get that one. And then I ended up running into trouble because I think it was a slightly different version or something like that. It was a bigger one, and I couldn't fit some of the hardware that I had selected. It was very awkward. The point is, I really liked the look of it and have been kind of looking for an excuse to do a build in one of their cases since then. This is interesting. I guess the way to remove this is I undo, oh, wow, really? No, okay, there's a little bracket down here, there's a little screw down here, but I don't actually need to remove that one. Oops. There we go. Very cool. Harrison, if it would please you, could I please have a magnetic parts tray?
On it.
I just don't want to lose these screws. That would be, oh, seriously? I think I do have to remove that screw. Is this supposed to just come out? Okay. Well, this is the part of the stream where things start to go off the rails a little. Seriously? No way. No, I'm not going to use the manual, David. What is this? Manual. Seriously. Oh. I think you're not supposed to remove this one. That's what I think. Let's go ahead and put this back on. I think what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to just take off the side and the front. Hello? Buddy? Are you even?
Oh, God.
What? No, it's fine. They have the things there. They have the things. Ah, you know what? I bet it's under this side panel. That makes sense. Don't worry, guys. Nothing's going to go wrong. Oh, calm down.
Say that.
Calm down.
Jinxed it.
No, everything's going to be fine. And worst case scenario, right? There's another one right there. Clearly, Height knew who they were sending their case to. Provide a spare. All right, here we go. Yes, this panel comes off. We just need to take off these screws. All right. Right, screwdriver. Oh man, there is so much to talk to you guys about. Screwdrivers are live shipping now. They are not a pre-order, back order, whatever you want to call it. They are shipping live from lttstore.com. We have them in stock, so you guys can check those out. Obviously, you can send a merch message during the show while you are placing your order. And this is not shipping live, but this is some of the development that we've been doing for our fixed shaft screwdrivers. One of the big successes that we've had is the desk pad and the water bottle, with this concept that a slightly different size or slightly different shape shouldn't cost a ton more, even if it's more popular or less popular, or a little bit more materials cost or a little bit less. And we've sold, like over 100,000 desk pads based on this concept that you don't have to think about it. You just need to get the one that's right for you. Don't worry about the price. You shouldn't have to pay an extra, $30 just because you have a slightly bigger desk. That's stupid. So in that same vein, we want to develop our screwdrivers to be just kind of one price, one size fits all in terms of price, but understanding that one size does not fit all in terms of the actual size of the driver. So the engineering team is pushing back a little bit. We're going to figure out sort of where we end up in terms of the breadth of variety that we offer. But the idea right now, if everything goes according to plan, is that we would be able to stock handles in a variety of different sizes with probably, I think right now we're thinking 2 different bores, anywhere from 2 to 3 different bores, right? Because we have to do different molds for every different shaft girth, right? So with a couple of different bores, we'll have these different sizes, and then we'll be able to essentially just stock shafts, and then we can produce them kind of to order almost. So we would just kind of have our master cartons of shafts and our master cartons of handles, and we'd kind of go, okay, we're getting low on extra small flatheads, flathead 0. Okay, so let's press 50 of them, and we'll get those on the stock shelf. Anyway, part of that is figuring out what kind of sizing we want for all of our handles. And I think these ones with the green tape are the sizes that we've kind of settled on here. Unfortunately, engineering didn't send over an engineer, which is fine. It's fine. They don't need to send anyone. Engineering didn't send over an engineer, so I can't tell you exactly what the scales are, but these are all scaled from the original LTT screwdriver. Now, it's not a one-to-one scale, because what we found was that as we shrunk it, you don't necessarily want to lose all the length that you're losing in girth. So this one, for example, this is our extra small size, is a little bit narrower than it is shorter. And that was to make sure that we're able to accommodate everything from my hands to Kyle's man mitts comfortably. This is it. Extra small -C. Also, a big difference is you guys are going to notice we are far more capable when it comes to prototyping now. This was done on our new 3D printer. I forget exactly what the process technology is, but it's so cool. We can use this one to create supportless arched structures. So we have a mouse project that is also in the works right now, and the way that it works is it basically just it's like a powder or something like that, and it solidifies. I haven't done a video about it, so I haven't had a reason to look into it in depth. But anyway, it solidifies the parts that need to be solid, and then just washes away everything else. It is so freaking cool. I love it. It also allows you to create parts with much better precision. The other thing that we can do now is we can print in all kinds of different materials. So this is going to be an overmolded, rubberized material, but not the kind that gets tacky and gross over time. I freaking hate that. It's gross. It's awful. So we want to go with kind of like a hard overmold, but slightly rubberized. So that would be like a really high durometer, is I believe the technical term for that. So that's going to be the extra small. That's where you would have like a slot 0, or I'd say if you had small hands, you could do a Phillips 1, definitely a Phillips 0, and something like this. This is our small. Okay, so that's where if you have bigger hands, you might actually prefer even a slot 1 or a slot 0 or something like that on this. Although personally, I would strongly recommend the extra small. Our medium. Okay, here's where I'm going to start to pull out the original driver for scale, is a slightly scaled down version of the original driver. Just because of the internals, the ratcheting screwdriver has a limit to how narrow it can go. This is more like what I would have liked personally. This is what I would have as like a Phillips number 2, particularly like a long shank Phillips number 2 or something like that. This is like my obvious medium. Then we've got our large, which is basically the original, but slightly skinnier. Just ever so slightly skinnier. Okay, so you got that guy. Wait, is that the same? Hold on. No, this one might be the same. It's either the same or it's slightly skinnier. Then we have our extra large, which is bigger than the original, I think. No, this is the same. Okay, hold on a second. Some of this might not be. Oh, no, this is it. Crap, I was going through entirely the wrong grouping of them. Yeah, okay. No, this is the large. Yes, the large is the same. There we go. Okay, good. And then the extra large. Oh yeah, look at this guy. So if you had like a number 3 flathead or something like that you want to, look, I would never recommend using a screwdriver as a prying tool. But if you had a number 3 flathead that you wanted to use as a prying tool in an emergency, this is the one you'd go with for that. Okay, so sorry, back to the other sizes. The medium didn't change. Good, yeah, the medium's the same. Okay, good. And then the other thing that did change is the extra small is slightly skinnier. Yeah. So these are the real ones right here. There we go, these gray ones. So this is it. This is the screwdriver handle family as it is now. We've got people asking, are you going to have fixed shaft but be able to swap bits? At this time, no. The idea behind the fixed shaft product is to be economical while still obviously retaining our quality and to not have any slop, right? These are going to be press fit. They're going to be permanently fitted. They're going to be extremely durable. This is, obviously this is a precision device, right? You can kick it around, and trust me, bro, if something goes wrong, we got you. But these are designed for like, hey, can I borrow one of those? Yeah, sure. Ugh. There was no one over there. That was simulated interaction. I don't actually have friends. These are designed for that. So it's going to be a bit of, dang it. It's going to be a bit of a different product. Really excited about it. Still expect them to be at a slight premium just because, we're gonna build in some fun stuff, some extra special sauce. But that's it. That's the current handle mock-ups for the LTT screwdriver. Hey guys, apparently there's an LCD kit for the case. Oh, over there. Ah, wonderful. I guess I could have gotten that while you guys were watching James tell you about our sponsor. Ooh, well this is cool. There's some 3D printed nonsense here. And what else is in here? I guess I'll just walk over here and show you guys. Y60 LCD DIY kit. Is it a kit or is it DIY? Contains all the parts shown. Oh, some DIY knowledge and fabrication will be necessary to fully install the screen. Oh my goodness, what are you guys trying to do to me today? Holy crap. You actually connect this thing to the display output on the GPU? This is not just some USB display? What the heck are they doing? EDP. Oh, I see. Okay. So it's some kind of mobile panel because it uses embedded DisplayPort, and then you have mini HDMI going into control board. It's 1920. It's 1920 by 515. This is like an HD resolution class product. And the bracket is 3D printed because that makes perfect sense. Wait, is it 3D printed? Yep. Boy, does it ever look 3D printed, but how did they get this texture on it? Okay, you're the 3D printing nerd.
I printed that yesterday.
Oh wait, you printed this?
Yeah.
Wait, you have to 3D print your own bracket? They don't even send you this bracket?
Apparently, yeah. The texture's from the support material.
Are you not going to talk into
yours.
Oh, you got my mic.
Yeah, I don't want it to feedback too much.
Oh, okay.
Whatever.
Sorry, so what's this texture?
That's a PEI build plate.
Oh, so you do that on purpose?
Yeah, that's just the texture on the build plate.
I thought normally you have like that flattened kind of look
Yeah,
on
with the
build.
glue stick, and like you don't need any of that. It's
Oh.
adhesive less.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, sorry, I realize I'm talking about this a lot without really like showing you guys. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. Can you see that, David?
I can see it a little bit.
Can I
but
catch the light a bit? Ooh, boop, 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 boop.
I don't. Catch it more in the darkness.
More, catch the light in the darkness.
Yeah, there you go. You can see the texture a little bit.
Okay, Bane or whatever. All right, let's have a closer look at this. Okay, the display is from BOE, so that's a panel manufacturer that I know of. All right. Where the devil? No. Shut up. It goes here? In this corner? Oh, wait, does it? Yeah, it does, right? That's awesome. Okay. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they're not kidding about the DIY-ness of it. Got all these ribbon cables and random boards and control boards and okay height. So I was originally right then. We do have to take this piece of, wait, no, because the size is like, I'm gonna need instructions for this. Are you kidding me right now? That's it. Check out the product page on height.com for some tips and tricks as well as a detailed instruction video. You went to the trouble to include a piece of paper. How much more does it cost for a double-sided printer that they could have just printed on the other side of the piece of paper at the same time?
Like 0.01 cents.
Like, yeah, but I just mean the printer itself. Like what, another like 50 bucks?
I mean, from an industrial scale, you know, maybe
Gotta-
100,000.
Okay, well, let's hear from you guys, okay? Make some noise in the chat. I look it up, or I proceed without the manual, okay, without the instructions, okay? So here we go. Option number 1, I look it up. Dan, we got any?
It's the delay. I gotta wait 30 seconds while you stand here.
30 seconds.
There you go. Awkward, awkward. It's still awkward. Seems like no manual.
Okay,
Oh no, I don't know.
no manual.
Twitch wants. Look it up. Continue standing awkwardly.
I'll continue standing awkwardly. Don't worry, I got this.
Is it just called standing with you?
Okay, who won?
Manual.
Manual.
I'm saying manual. The second one, yeah.
Wait, the second one was no manual.
Oh, then definitely no manual.
Oh, balls. Okay. Let's figure out how to mount this then. There's some, oh, there's a little tab. Oh, okay, that's just to peel the screen. Does it just, I mean, does it, ooh, okay. Does it just sit there? I mean, that can't be right, can it? Could it just sit there? This is weird. Because look, it doesn't even fill the entire window space. Surely you can't be expected to simply tape it on or something, can you? They don't include anything like that. But then they also, let's think about this bracket. Oh, okay, I think I figured out this bracket. This looks like kind of hard drive sized. And it looks like this board goes on it. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is gonna be, I hope you all are excited to make this video for a long time. Woo, all right. Well, the board goes in like that. That's pretty cool. Oh, hello. Does this, no. All right, cool. Well, how about, no. How about, oh, hello. Okay. All right. Hey, now we're talking. I think I get it. I think I figured, oh! I need some screws. I've got a couple of them loose. Want to hit me with a couple merch messages while I screw this thing together?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Let's see what we got here. Was excited to find out you do Taekwondo, Linus. What's your favorite and least favorite pattern that you know? I need to see if you have good takes on this one.
Wow. Okay. So, number one, I actually don't do Taekwondo. The weird rando martial art that I did practice was closest probably to Taekwondo, but it had a mixture of kind of a little bit of everything. Striking, grappling, some ground techniques, like self-defense, more kind of flashy, showy, not that useful in the real world stuff, sparring. Our sparring was a little bit different, I think, from most Taekwondo sparring in that you are, I don't know, I think Taekwondo you can grapple, right? I can't remember. Oh, no. Okay, so yeah, we had grappling in our sparring, for example. So it's not quite Taekwondo. So even if I did, okay, so yeah, I don't know any Taekwondo patterns. And then problem number two is that the last time that I trained, I was 17. So even if I did do Taekwondo, there is no way, no possible way that I would remember any patterns. Just trying to think. I actually did a review session with one of the instructors for my kids because they did the same thing that I did. And the idea there was that I'd be able to help with their classes. So I actually did a review session recently. So we have one pattern that's like, okay, so it's sparring position, you do a front kick, and then like a block. Okay, yeah, I think I remember this. Then a palm strike, you do like, is this a punch, knife hand? Oh, I fell, I'm old. Okay, so knife hand, sparring position, you do a crescent kick, something like this, grab, I don't know. The thing about patterns is it's a really good way to, if you're focused, if you take them seriously, it's a good way to sharpen your technique, and it's really good exercise. Man, is it ever good exercise if you're doing your stances properly and going through your pattern, not rushing, taking your time. It's great exercise, but it's not useful. Like if you're training for your next big MMA fight, like you're not doing patterns. I remember they did at one of the tournaments or something like that. They did a. I hope no one from there's watching. They did this kind of demonstration. Here, Harrison, I'll borrow you. Actually, I'll borrow Dan too. This is going to be great. So, man, I forget. It was goofy. So they did this demonstration where basically, like they had someone doing the pattern, and then they just like had a person, like, actually, no, I only need one. I'll use Harrison, okay? So they had a person whose job was to like, okay, so just like block or whatever. Like, yeah, just block, just block a kick. Just like, And then I would go and like, hit the guy, and he goes like flying, right? And then like some other guy comes up, and you like grab him, and you like do the other move, and they like, it tried to make the pattern look practical, like fighting a group of people or something like that. And it definitely was a cool demo because everyone who was involved in the demonstration was black belt. So they could really sell the tumbles and break falls as they were being struck, Like you had guys doing like, getting thrown and doing like a front flip, like back brake fall in the air, and you throw someone and they do like a rolling cat brake fall or whatever else. Like, it's super cool. But the sales pitch was definitely lost on me. Hey Dan, this is hilarious. They couldn't be arsed to include the 4 little screws you need to put this board. Oh, you know what? No, I have screws over here. Okay, David, we're gonna go screw hunting while Dan fetches us a merch message to respond to. Screw hunter.
All right, this is an interesting one. Have you guys ever thought of doing a video on what kind of computers they use in rockets and planes?
I mean, we did do a video on a rocket computer not that long ago. Not very up to date. It was the Saturn V rocket. It was definitely a really cool video, though. It was a collaboration with Smarter Every Day. And I feel terrible. I actually forget his last name. But Luke, the guy who worked on it, so knowledgeable. Absolutely incredible. That's worth checking out. As for what's in a modern system, no, I can't say that I've really thought about it too much. I mean, a lot of what's cutting edge is going to be like trade secret or classified anyway, so I don't know really how much we'd even be able to say about it. That's something we run into a lot, where there's really cool stuff that we'd love to cover. Actually, our graphic designer who does the vast majority of our thumbnails these days, Maria, we were chatting on the weekend because I had her just doing like a freelance thing for me separate from work. And we were chatting and she was like, oh, you guys should totally do something on the, oh, these are way too big. You guys should totally do something on the computer systems at like an F1 race, because I'm sure that it's really cool. And I was like, yeah, I'm sure it is. You're 100% right. The problem is that every time we talk to an organization like that, and we go, hey, yeah, we'd love to, oh, what am I doing? My miscellaneous thing is over here. We'd love to do something. They kind of go, okay, yeah, sure. You can come and talk about the event and how amazing it is, but no, you can't go in the back room. And no, we're not going to explain how any of this works. And a lot of the time, it's not their fault, right? Because they're using proprietary technologies from partners. Like, for example, at a tennis event, they have this system called Hawkeye. It's Hawkeye, right? I think that's what it's called. David?
I have no idea.
For determining if the ball is in or out? Nope. Whatever, I think it's called Hawkeye. So there's a super cool system that tracks the projectile in real time, can tell within, I forget, but it's some incredibly short amount of time after the racket strikes it. It'll like simulate the trajectory, and then it takes all that data that it has from it traveling, and it takes like computer vision data and determines exactly where the ball landed. They use it in tennis, they use it in badminton. I think there's a handful of other sports that they use Hawkeye for. But Hawkeye's a proprietary system. I forget who owns it. Is it Sony? Someone owns it. And my understanding is you can't even buy it. Like, I'm pretty sure that it's on a rental basis only. So not only are they not gonna just let some random come in and pick the thing apart, they don't even leave their customers with it. Again, this is my understanding. I've never actually tried to buy a Hawkeye system or anything like that. So this is all based on very, very, very preliminary, looking into it. But it's a challenge, right? Because it's not even up to them whether or not they can show me this stuff. So while there are a lot of collabs that we'd love to do like that, it's just not always feasible. Yeah, exactly. That's such a perfect example of something that we would love to get down and dirty with. You guys probably couldn't hear him, but David was saying Pixar rendering servers. Like, yeah, how freaking cool would that be? Apparently it's Disney who owns Hawkeye? No, it's Sony, yeah.
Initially developed by Simmons.
Oh, you guys are being silly, I get it. Because it's Marvel Hawkeye. Ha ha ha. Ha ha. That's what I get for looking at Twitch chat at all. Love that Floatplane chat's talking about how much better the audio quality is over there. Yeah. Man, that's something that drives me crazy on YouTube and Twitch, is you don't have to compress audio that much. It is not that bandwidth intensive to have good audio, but they do compress it because I guess they just figure most people are plebs and won't care. Well, I care. So float plane, obviously it's still compressed, right? Like it's not FLAC files or whatever. Uncompressed audio would be very difficult to deal with, but it's not nearly as compressed. It's as good as like a high quality MP3. So there you go. Yet another advantage float plane. Let's go. You know, we had it pitched in the writers meeting this week that we should do an explainer on what the heck float plane is, because actually a couple of people were saying that they get this question all the time, like, you guys talk about this float plane thing, but what the devil actually is it? I kind of went, is that just too self-promotional? Like, if anybody wants to know that badly, can they figure it out? Or are those of you who are on Twitch and on YouTube actually wondering, like, what the devil is float plane? Yeah, just let us know in the chat, and Dan will have a look for you. Okay, I found 3 completely mismatched screws that oh, this one's not in. Ooh, okay. That's gonna take some force. I'm gonna take some Schwartz. There we go, okay. Yeah, that's in there, right? That's not so bad. Got our I/O. I'm assuming that USB micro B is for power, and why does it need a 3.5 millimeter jack? I mean, surely there's no, why would they have an audio jack? That's weird. Maybe if they wired up speakers separately? No, and the USB-C isn't for oh boy. Really? No manual, you guys? Why you gotta be like that? Why you gotta be like that? Okay.
Someone just merge messaged the manual.
Oh no. All right. Hit me with another merch message, Dan. Are there a lot? Like, should I be going through them really fast, or I can take my time? Or
Yeah, this pace is working for me.
This pace is pretty good?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Will we ever see Linus building a PC with supercomputer parts? Now that used Intel Xeon Phi coprocessor 7120p is finally within the reach of us mere mortals.
No. The reason for that is that you don't want that. It's not good. It doesn't really work, honestly speaking. We did a review of the Xeon Phi something or other way back, and the problem is that you have to develop software specifically for that platform, and you're never going to run anything that you would want to run on it. So it's cool. But it's cool in a very abstract, theoretical kind of way. It's not something that lends itself well to a visual medium like video. So that's the reason that you just probably won't see something like that from us, I'm afraid.
Linus, I've lost your mic.
You lost my mic?
Yep.
Go to main cam.
Sure. Main.
Do we have extra double A's?
Hello.
I'll trade you.
Seriously? Oh wait, do we have double A's? Hello everyone.
Don't speak too loud.
Don't speak too loud. Oh, okay. It's tuned for Dan. Yeah. Don't worry, we're getting new batteries. Well, new cells. Are we on David or are we on the other one? Oh, we're on the other one. Can I get into frame? I'll try. Hello?
You're in frame when you do that.
Yeah.
Not in frame now.
Here you go. No, it's fine. I don't need to be in
You
frame.
want to do it?
Yeah, I can do it.
Good. Thank you. Okay. Get this fixed up then.
One word.
What's the category, Linus?
Are you allowed to say the category?
You have to mind this category.
Played charades.
Movie.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know anything like that. Category. Terrible at Pictionary, terrible at charades. All right, we got my audio back?
Yep.
Fantastic. I went and I put this PCB on here, and I didn't realize that there's a ribbon cable that needs to be attached to it that you can't access anymore once it's installed. This is truly a nightmare.
You can switch it down.
Okay, here we go. Oh boy. Where'd that ribbon? Oh, here it is. Oh my gosh.
Remember when you were joking about it being a 5-hour stream?
Yeah. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, it comes with an audio breakout cable. Why does it come with an audio breakout cable? It has a 4-pole to dual 3-pole adapter on it. Why? Why would you plug your microphone into this?
Linus, I think I have a bit of a cop-out for you.
Yeah.
The manual is technically just a video, so it's not really a manual.
I think that the spirit of the agreement with the audience was that I will not consult instructional materials. Don't worry, I've got this. All right, here's this. We're just gonna put that in there, and then we're gonna give that the clamps. Hold on a second. Where's my contact pins here? Gaff tape. Seriously? I see. Harrison, I think, is watching the instructional video over there and has determined that I will need additional materials. Oh my goodness. So you actually are expected to just tape the thing to the front of the case? No. That is ridiculous. Oh, no.
The gaff tape is to pin the ribbon cable down so it doesn't flop around.
Ah, to pin the ribbon cable down. I see. Whew. All right, cool. Well, I'm having fun. Remember that part of the video where I said, wow, we're making such amazing progress. There's only like 8 parts of a computer and we've already got 4 of them done. I remember. All right, here's our controller. Here's our ribbon. Now we can install this, I hope. Oh no, absolutely ridiculous. All right, Dan, hit me.
Okay, here we go. Laptops have become increasingly affordable over the past few months, as well as the need to upgrade PCs decreasing. Do you think it would be more economical to buy a laptop?
Every once in a while, there's a short period of time where laptops kind of make as much sense as a desktop, but they never make more sense. If you're a bargain hunter, you can. You know what? No, I'm not going to hedge. If you're a bargain hunter, you can always get better performance out of a desktop. However, there are definitely times when laptops get reasonably close, especially with the way that laptop component performance has gotten within striking distance of same generation desktop component performance. So there are times when, if mobility is a factor for you, it kind of makes sense to go for a laptop. Yeah, totally. And I think it's pretty fair to say that this is one of those times. Oh my goodness. Now, okay, here's power. That's fine, we got that. Okay, Dan, hit me with one more. I do not like this. I do not like this at all.
Plugs later, Linus.
Plugs later? I mean, sure, I can do plugs later, sure. All right, I'm gonna put these aside for now then. No, I'm not gonna put them aside there. That's scary. That I'll never find again. Okay,
All right,
here we go.
Thanks for the wonderful screwdriver. This will be the second one I purchase. Do you have any thoughts on canned air versus air compressor versus handheld electric blowers for cleaning dust in PCs?
I don't like the waste of canned air. It, from my point of view, seems to generate a ton of garbage for how little actual cleaning you can do with it, which I don't like. As for a compressor, well, that's the best way. However, that comes with an asterisk, because the last thing you want is to use a compressor that doesn't have a filter on it, like doesn't have any kind of drying apparatus on it, because otherwise you can end up blowing moist air onto your components, which if you then immediately power them up, or even worse, if they're running while you're blowing at it, can, well, cause immediate death. The other danger with a compressor is that you can overcook it, you can overdo it. And what'll happen is you can potentially like blast components off of a board with a really powerful compressor, even with an honestly not that powerful compressor. Oh, I see. Okay, well this goes here. As for those little kind of motorized, kind of the opposite of a vacuum things, every single one of them that I've ever used sucks.
No, they blow.
Yeah, that blows. Thank you, David. That's really helpful. Every single one of them that I've ever used is terrible, basically unusable for anything but the lightest, most delicate of little dust particles. Like if you're trying to get off any cat hair or something like that, they just don't do it. So that leaves me with a compressor, or if you're going to risk. Or if you're going to risk getting moisture on something, good old-fashioned lungs. Just try to say it and not spray it, is what I did when I had no money. Now I use a compressor. All right, Dan, hit me. How the devil does this little boy go in? Ah, I see it.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Linus. When will you make a banana for bedtime? I want a very big one, just a hug at night.
Like a body pillow.
The
Banana
banana
body
for
pillow.
bedtime. I like the name. That's catchy. The banana for bedtime. Oh, no. The banana for bedtime. I don't think we have any plans. I don't think we have any plans to do anything like that right now. I mean, we could look into it. Maybe we could even do like an alpaca wool blend, kind of like the CPU pillows, which, by the way, are on wild promo right now. There's a 3 in 25 chance that your CPU pillow, Quebec excluded, of the Team Red variety in the 50 by 50 size, or the Couch Ripper variety in the 64.5 by 50 centimeter size, will include an actual CPU in it, valued at between something and something. The full details are linked in the video description. Do we have a link down there?
I think so.
Oh, yeah, we have the full details down there, as well as I said them earlier in the video. So that's a perfect thing to pick up if you want to send them Richmond. Okay, what is happening here? Is this just going to hold it here? This seems very stupid. You know what? I'm going for it. Nope, Harrison's trying to show me the manual, but I refuse. The people said no manual. The people get what the people ask for. And any buyer's remorse, that's on them.
Is he about to do something catastrophic?
It's not catastrophic, but it's also not going to work.
It's in there.
Okay.
It's in there now. What do you mean not going to work? Looks like it's working to me. All right. And screen. Nice. Okay. No. Okay. Well, that's fine. We could like jam something under there or something at some point. I don't know where this goes. There's got to be a place where this controller thing goes, you know? Oh wow. Hilarious. This is totally just the front of your monitor. There's your power switch. There's your menu button. Enter, up and down, so menu navigation buttons. This is just a monitor. It's just in the corner of your case. All right, let's move on. Let's get a motherboard in here. Let's get this show on the road here. I'm having some serious regrets about the way that we have approached this particular build. Ooh, I like this though. Check out this custom PCIe riser thing that they built. It kind of looks like you have a card installed. The plastics match the color of the outside of the case. I like that. Freaking awesome. And it's pre-installed for your convenience. Ooh, I like it. Is it Gen 4 compatible? Does anyone know? Anyone got a spec sheet? I guess I have a spec sheet. Here, height, where are you at? Height Y60. Height Y60. Oh, plus LC. Whoa, that LCD kit is $120? Man, okay. I think they could have included the screws. I think they could have included the screws and probably could have 3D printed that bracket for you. That's all I have to say about that. I mean, who knows? Maybe we're gonna get this thing in here and I'm gonna be so wowed by how cool it is that I'm gonna completely forgive them for not including screws, but I think at that price, they can throw in some screws. Okay, wow. That is just about the tightest fit that I have ever seen for a motherboard against a fan. Yeah, for sure. That is, look at this. I cannot move it. Can you see that? With just this fan cable in here, it cannot be moved. Okay. Do they have the little convenient holder thing that keeps your motherboard in place? Yeah, it seems like it. Oh, awesome. Love that feature. I assume that it's on the middle. Yeah, I think it's on the middle standoff. Man, my phone has been blowing up. Whatever someone is trying to contact me about during my live stream is extremely urgent. Okay, hopefully everyone is, safe. And it's just someone wants me to weigh in on some business thing or something. Oh, why does Floatplane Chat keep pausing for me? Dan, want to hit me with a merch message?
Sure thing. All right, let's see what we got here. After your Intel fab visit before, is it out of the realm for Intel to invite you back to their new fab being built in Ireland, seeing it's in the Silicon Valley of Europe?
That's a good question. I've never been to Ireland. I would love to go to Ireland. However, the problem with something like Fab Tour again is that you're probably thinking of it in terms of, well, that's cutting edge. It's going to be Intel's 20A or whatever they're calling their angstrom level manufacturing processes, or it's going to be 18A. Okay, that would be an interesting Fab Tour, the 18A version. Anywho, it's like a Fab Tour after hours. Intel engineers, do they get freaky? Well, no. Sorry, I got distracted. The point is that you're probably thinking of it in terms of, oh, well, that's going to be the latest, and it's going to be super cool to see the latest thing. It's going to look exactly the same. The vast majority of the equipment that they have in a fab, the coolness, it's not even visible to the naked eye. Like, I could point at this giant machine that all you're ever going to see is the outside metal shell of, and say, yeah, inside there, that's the new hotness from ASML. Wow. But what's the point of that, right? I feel like we already covered last time around a lot of what I think the average person, or even someone like me, never mind the average person, what I think most, even enthusiasts, are ever really going to understand about the chip fabrication process. There's not much point getting into the nitty-gritty of all the little details of how they shrank it that much more, because the reality of it is that A, we're not going to understand it, and B, they're not going to tell us, right? So I don't know. It's possible. I think it'd be cool, but there would have to be a compelling reason. Intel would have to kind of say, yeah, we're going to go even deeper under the hood, or something like that. And I'd kind of go, okay, yeah, in what way? Like, what new experience am I bringing to the people? And if the answer is just, well, we thought it would be cool for you to see, I'm going to say, yeah, it would be cool for me to see, but I can't accept, because that's a waste of everyone's time. If I'm going there, it's got to be something new that I can show you guys. Like, I get invited for private tours of all kinds of cool places that I would love to check out. But every single time I say no, because if I can't make a video, then I just don't really see the point in me being there. And part of my agenda for that is that if they really care about, me seeing it or whatever and talking about how cool it is and, you know, it coming up on our podcast at some point or whatever. Like, there has to be some benefit to them to inviting me to these places, obviously. They don't just want to hang out with me. So my hope is that by refusing, if I can't bring a camera, I can put pressure on them to let me bring a camera next time so that whatever it is, I can show you guys, because that's a lot more thrilling to me than just seeing something, right? I love the look of this. This is freaking awesome. This just little bit of molded plastic here makes such a big difference to the look of this PCIe riser. That's so classy, and not even with an eye. Love it.
Can you go to the Y for a second?
This is shaping up. Let's get our AIO installed. Okay, there is room for a triple. Now, I just noticed something really weird about this case. It is not compatible with full height expansion cards. Look at this, David. These are half height. I mean, sure, if I wanted to put like a, you know, a RAID card or something in here, I guess you can get half height USB, audio, SSDs. Okay, there's a fair number of half height cards that will, or even ones that are like half the height but include both a full and a half height bracket. But that's really unusual for a desktop case. And then down here, yeah, they've got full height expansion, but this is clearly designed to only hold one card, your GPU, up to triple slot GPU, but only one card. There isn't even room for you to add more of these and run more risers or anything like that. That's it. That's the whole deal.
Dan, can you switch?
Really interesting. Okay, let's do the AIO now. Dan, you want to hit me with a merch message?
Sure. Let's see. We've got a couple good ones here. Going off that rocket message, would you ever do a video about broadcast equipment, specifically sports and all the data-driven graphics and stuff?
Oh.
ESPN's main control room would be cool to see. I mean, for me too.
I'd
oh my God.
love to. Same thing though. There's no way they're gonna show me, you know, for real. Like, man, I've heard stories. I've heard war stories, right? You hear people talk about like the truck full of quadros that would park outside like the NFL stadium to put that in the early days of putting the first down line on the field.
I did some spec on that kind of truck. They're awesome. They're really cool.
Freaking cool, right?
Oh yeah.
But nobody's gonna let media come in and just like video everything, because you gotta understand that in consumer electronics, we kind of take for granted the idea that there's a manual, right? That there's documentation for how to do things in the best possible way. In the enterprise space, in a lot of cases, it's actually the opposite. So the most knowledgeable installers or value-added resellers will actually treat information about what parts work with what, and you know, what's optimal for a given workload as a trade secret, right? So that's one of the reasons. Oh, this is really funny. In the early days of our engagements with Supermicro, who we love, right? Those guys, you imagine it, and they've got a server box that is perfect for the function, whether it's storage or web serving or, okay, that or is really important. Because I remember one of my early conversations with them was around that Simply Double 48-bay NVMe storage box that we had for editing. And I kind of went, okay, how are you supposed to configure this thing? And they said, any way you want to. And I was like, right, but how are you supposed to use this? Because I was having a lot of trouble trying to cobble together that many NVMe drives, especially back then when they weren't as well supported. And they said exactly the same thing. However you'd like, Linus. And I kind of go, okay, look. That is not helpful. For realsies, you guys built this bloody thing. Surely you must know how to configure it. And they were like, truthfully, no, we don't. We just build what our customers ask us to build, right? We engineer these amazing systems with all this connectivity, all this performance, and we leave it to our customers to determine what's right for their use case and how they want to utilize it. And I'm sitting here going, oh, you're actually serious right now. You designed a solution in search of a problem, really cool solution, and it solved a very real problem for me. I'm not complaining, but as far as I can tell, at least back then, they were just taking shots in the dark sometimes, designing entire servers, which is a not insignificant cost, in hopes that someone will engineer an actual use for them. And that's not unusual. And even now, you know, you go in and you ask someone like an Intel, you know, where they've got, look at something like their Xeon lineup, where they've got 50, 60 different SKUs or something like that. And you kind of go, do you really need this one? And they're going to say, oh yeah, for a certain customer, that's the ticket, that's the hotness. And you kind of go, okay, who? And they go, well, if you were them, you'd know. Like okay, you know, it's frustrating. But I also understand, right? Because if any random, you know, AV consultant or whatever knew that you need exactly 22 Quadros on this many Xeons and this particular piece of gear and this software in order to paint those yellow lines on the American football field, well, then all of a sudden they could come in with a lower bid price compared to the incumbent and steal that business. Steal, at least from the incumbent's perspective. I mean, obviously from the client's perspective, they want things to be less expensive, but that's kind of the push and pull. That's the competing agendas, I guess, when it comes to sharing knowledge in commercial applications. I mean, I'm sure that's something that you've encountered before, right, Dan? Some people will share very freely, but when it comes to corporate entities, they tend to be a lot more hesitant about it. Has that been your experience?
Yeah, I'm more tight-lipped when I'm here than other places, but you know, there's a kind of mix of secret sauce where you can go like, yeah, we use computers to do broadcast, but exactly what you do with them and what software and how exactly you have them configured, yeah, generally those don't get talked about too much.
I am very curious to know what you would think you have to be tight-lipped about here.
Well, I mean,
we're actually a pretty open book, I think, at least to our fellow creators.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't actually had a discussion about that. So if you want me to be open about it, then I will.
Oh, yeah, nothing here is a secret.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I'd love to talk about it. Oh, my God. But, I mean, even with those things like, you know, the vans that they park outside of massive concert venues or football stadiums, like you could approach one of the companies and spec out a van and, like, talk to the people who actually build them. But just how it's finally configured and what exactly they're doing with it, that's kind of the cool stuff, but that's what they're protecting, right?
Yeah, and the other thing too is I've encountered this. When you go to them and you say, hey, I want to spec out to do a thing, they will also expect you to have someone in the know on your team who kind of tells them what to build so that they're not giving you too much, if you kind of get what I mean. You've seen that dynamic before too, right? That one's hilarious to me, where it's, if you don't know, there's no way to know, because people only want to talk to people who know. It's like, oh, thank goodness for YouTube, right? Like, for real. Lots of problems. YouTube, not perfect. But boy, has YouTube ever changed the way that we access information. And very much for the better, overall. All right, let's run these fan connectors down here. Want to hit me with another merch message? That was a really good one. Oh, I guess I should update the people on what exactly the crap it is that I'm doing. I determined that the AIO would not fit in with the tubes at the back because it interfered with this fan. So I'm mounting it this way, and I think I'm going to go tubes up. Fortunately, Fractal thought of this, and you can reconfigure this in any orientation that you want as long as it's 90 degrees, which sort of makes sense because it's got a mount on the socket, so it's going to go in a little something like that. It's not perfect, but it's all right. I am also configuring my fans in a pull configuration because it looks like we're going to have a lot of fresh air coming in the bottom. There's 2 pre-installed what look like 120mm fans down there. We're going to pull air directly across our GPU, and the 7950X3D, even though it's the fastest gaming CPU on the planet, really easy to cool. We probably don't even need this AIO. We could throw a mediocre air cooler on this thing. It's like a 65-watt chip from what we've measured. It's wild. So make of that what you will. All right, hit me, Badan.
All righty, let's see.
Oh, wow, people really liked that discussion of proprietariness.
Yeah.
The graph on YouTube, kind of steady, oh, this is to my, this is to my.
I mean, it might be a good social post to talk about it. All right, next up. Hi, Linus. Are we getting diminishing returns with monitors and TVs? Where can they go from here with 2x4K ultra-wides and QD OLED? Thanks for doing a live stream during Europe time zones.
Ah, okay. That's a really good question. I guess now, for those of you tuning in late, the system that we're building is designed to run as many games as we can at 500 frames per second to go with our brand spanking new 500 hertz monitor. The question was, have we reached a point of diminishing returns for displays? In some ways, yes, absolutely. I think that when our review comes out tomorrow of this monitor, you guys are gonna want to watch it because we'll get into a lot more depth about this. But in essence, if I was gonna boil it down for you, the answer is yes. We are at the point of diminishing returns. Think about it. The difference between 360 hertz and 500 hertz is that each frame will refresh at 2 milliseconds. Okay, every 2 milliseconds you get a new frame versus 2.78 milliseconds. Can you perceive 0.78 milliseconds? Impossible. Literally impossible. Don't tell me you can. I don't want to hear it. That's not real. You can't. And so that's not intuitive, right? To the average person, you would think, that's 140 hertz faster. I mean, the difference between 60 and 120 is night and day, even though that's only a 60 hertz difference. Surely a 140 hertz difference should be way more than that. But that's not actually how it works, because when you go from 60 to 120 hertz, you're going from 16.6 repeater milliseconds per frame to 8.3 repeater milliseconds per frame. That's an 8 millisecond difference in how long that frame is sitting there, right? That's easily perceivable. And even going up to 144 or 240, we showed in that video with Shroud and with Corey and, oh balls, who else did we have there? Who else was there?
The dude with the long hair.
Oh yeah. Crap. Oh, this is embarrassing. Uh-oh. This is embarrassing. Yeah, the dude with the long hair. Help me out. Save me. Save me. And Paul was there. Someone in chat will tell me. Grims. Thank you. Oh. Hi, sorry. Anyway, we proved that up to 240 hertz, there is absolutely a difference in real-world gaming performance. Going to this, the argument gets a lot more difficult. However, I don't want to be all, like that. Oh yeah, endgame display. This is it. It's future-proof. You'll never experience a better display, because that ain't true. There is so much room. Okay, even like a wide color gamut display today is nowhere near what the human eye can perceive. And a part of the reason for that is that we can't achieve it's not necessarily like a color space problem. Like we're getting reasonably close to what the human eye can perceive in terms of like variety of colors. But the issue is that so much of the way that we perceive color is affected by brightness. And we are not even close, right? Like the best HDR displays. What's, shoot, DCI whatever. Dan, this seems like the kind of thing you might actually know off the top of your head. What's our latest DCI whatever brightness spec?
I don't know. HDR is kind of pointless.
Pointless?
Let me check. I actually don't know.
What do you mean pointless?
I'm just being contentious.
Oh my God.
Just buy me time to look this up.
So I can't remember. But the point is that right now, the way that movies are being mastered in Dolby Vision, Dolby Vision's the only one that I know off the top of my head. So the way that movies are being mastered in Dolby Vision, they are being, even though the hardware doesn't exist, they're attempting to grade them for, I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 10,000 nit displays. Does that sound familiar to you, David?
Yeah, that's why Blade Runner's so dark in HDR.
Yeah, okay, so this is, okay, I knew there was gonna be someone on set with me who kind of had some of the details here. So that's one of the reasons Blade Runner is so dark in HDR, David was saying, was because it's designed for future displays that simply don't even exist yet. Now, whether that's a good best practice for an industry that has to sell you media to watch today is absolutely debatable. But what isn't debatable is that the way that the human eye perceives, obviously you don't want to look at a full screen that's just 10,000 nits blasting into your face. That would be extremely unpleasant. But the way that the human eye perceives contrast, perceives dynamic range, so the differences between the darkest and the brightest parts of a scene, we're not even close with modern displays to having it appear natural, to appear true to life. And it's really unfortunate because the industry sold 4K really well, even though the benefit is pretty questionable for a lot of people. Whereas the industry is doing, in my opinion, an extremely poor job of selling HDR, even though it's something that when done well will benefit pretty much everybody. And I find it frustrating in the same way that I found the slow adoption of things like solid-state storage really frustrating. The industry was so busy talking about boot times, and I'm sitting here going, that's not what matters, right? I was making NCIX tech tips back then going, okay, I will show you the stupid boot time, but what matters is the responsiveness. Like I would bring out 2 test benches, identical, one with a hard drive, one with an SSD, and I would just do stuff on the mouse. This is how you sell an SSD, idiots. I'm just sitting there so frustrated. Everyone's talking about how many megabytes a second and how much boot time. No, show me something that matters to me, right? And HDR is something that suffers kind of at 2 different ends, right? On the one hand, it's really difficult to communicate just through text, right? Or verbally. And on the other hand, so much of the HDR out there is done poorly because the ecosystem's not mature and the technical skills are not widespread enough. And part of that is people keeping their little techniques to themselves, which is like frustrating from a content consumer standpoint, that it's really hard to sell, even with content sometimes. People will look at it and go, like, a bad HDR master does not look better than a good SDR, or rather a grade. A bad HDR grade does not look better than a good SDR grade. And right? I've seen it. I've seen it, and I'm sitting here going, no, this sucks. That SDR one is just white. It's not bright. And they're not the same thing, especially when the thing that's bright is colorful. When it's not just a specular highlight glinting off of someone's armor, right? When it's a dragon in the sun, that's something that you simply cannot accurately represent without a brighter display. So no, brightness, we've got a long way to go. We've also got a long way to go with respect to handling motion. And part of that is panel technology, because especially LCDs today really struggle with smearing still to this day. OLED is helping a lot with that. There's like, what are they down to? Like almost, is it picosecond? I can't remember if it's like nanoseconds or microseconds. It's some kind of, we're not measuring in milliseconds anymore. That's the point. The response time of these pixels is so fast, it's lightning fast. But part of it is processing. You can end up with just kind of, LG 2011. Please tell me this is AM5 compatible. You can end up with poor motion handling, even on displays that have extremely high response rate or fast response rate pixels. Okay, I will actually need a manual for this AIL cooler because I've never installed it before, and I don't want to accidentally use the wrong mount, and I also need to make sure that it even has the right mount for it. Seriously? You guys are not... Fractal, what are you doing, bud? Supports the most common sockets for both Intel and AMD. Thank you for that. This is so that they don't have to redo the artwork and reprint their box when a new socket comes out. This is the kind of cost-saving stuff in the PC industry that just drives me absolutely crazy. But also I understand because it's an extremely cutthroat, competitive industry where if you don't save that money, you might not be around to build a product next year. Fractal's such a cool success story. These guys came out of absolutely nowhere. A lot of good folks there over the years. Okay, bracket for AMD. Oh, no way. Okay, it uses the stupid hook over mount. It's a hooker, which means which means I need to put this bracket back on, which means I've got some time to kill while Dan hits me with another merch message.
All right, let's get you one here. This is from James. Hi, Linus. Looking forward to LTX. First, have you thought about doing a live WAN show the Friday before LTX? And second, the fixed shaft screwdriver needs a 6 or 10 point nut as part of the shaft.
Okay, so two things. One, yes, you're going to love my nuts. And number two is we will absolutely be doing WAN show live at LTX. If you are, I believe, we're going to have to kick out people who are just, hold on. We talked about the scheduling. We were worried that show attendees were not going to be able to stay for the entire WAN show if it goes for like 3 hours or whatever. But LAN attendees will definitely be able to be there. You know what? We're going to have to get you guys some details on that in the next little bit. I think we're going to try and start WAN show early enough that everyone can be there, but we also have to understand that not everyone who comes to LTX gives two hoots about WAN show, so it can't just go on forever. Maybe we'll just have to do a bit of a tighter WAN show. I don't know. We'll figure something out. We'll figure something out. You know what? No, I'll commit now. We're not going to make it so that if you buy a regular pass, you will miss any of WAN show. We'll make sure. So we'll either start it earlier, or we'll do a shorter WAN show or something. With that said, I'm not going to promise that we won't do any WAN show-like things at the LAN after hours, because I know Luke and I are both going to want to hang out there a little bit. But the actual WAN show will end before everyone has to leave. Okay, this little bracket goes on here. Hit me again, Dan.
All right, let's see here. Love your screwdriver. Does buying both pillows get 2 CPU drawings?
Yes.
Nice.
Every pillow is a chance at a CPU inside your CPU pillow. So if you want them for both ends of your couch or whatever, yes, you have 2 chances. For those of you who are wondering, yes, we have completely lost our marbles on this CPU pillow promo. They take up a lot of space, and we need to move some CPU pillows, and this was the best way that we could come up with to make that a little fun, is to put actual CPUs in them. Okay, this is interesting. I put this bracket on upside down. This was going to be sitting like 3/4 of an inch over the CPU socket. Let's try this again. Hit me again.
Okay. Do you have any plans in the future of building again with viewers?
That's a tough one. So the thing about building with viewers is, no offense, most of you aren't very good on camera. So, well, what? We're being honest with the people. These are merch messages. I can't lie to them, David. So that's part of the reason why with ROG Rig Reboot, for example, we've had part of the application process be that you need to make a video, because it allows us to gauge your creativity and also how likely you are to be good on camera. The problem is that even with that screening process, it's not perfect. And the kind of shtick that we had where I would, troll the winners, I felt like it was kind of played out. So it's not that ASUS didn't re-up ROG Rig Reboot. I'm actually the one who killed it. It's not because we don't like doing builds for viewers. It's just that we need to make sure that whatever content we're making, is fresh. And I felt like it wasn't really fresh anymore. So there's definitely room for us to kind of experiment with the concept again, do builds for viewers in some way, but I think you're going to see it come back in a different way of some sort. I didn't have to give you guys that whole spiel at all because we have plans. I totally forgot about it. Our upcoming cable management product, I guess I'll announce it here. We are going to be doing a series of content once that releases that is going to be all about cable managing and fixing up your worst setups. So we're going to be taking submissions from people. I'll pump, boop, right here. We're going to be taking submissions from our audience, and we're going to be looking for people whose setup is sorely in need of some cable management, and we're going to be sending some kind of squad, whether it's me or whether it's someone else from the team here, or whether it's both. And we're going to be doing like some kind of cable management makeover thing. And I could see us having a small budget for some other upgrades as part of something like that. Yeah. Yes, we are planning to do more content with the community, but we're waiting on the cable management product to come out. And I'm going to have to talk to Nick about it, but he and Kyle are also still working on our cable product, not cable management, cable product. And I think what we would love is for all of that to kind of land at the same time so that we could bring cables and cable management, because obviously carting out me and a crew and potentially a co-host or whatever that ends up looking like is going to have a lot of cost. So we want to pay for it somehow. And the idea would be that it would be through cable and cable management sales. So yeah, we're doing it. Yeah, Extreme Makeover Cable Edition. Exactly. We'll come up with a catchy name for it probably. LTT come to you or something. Okay. Sorry, ignore that. New merch message.
Sure. One sec here. Okay. Love the out-of-the-box content. How far GPUs have come compared to your CPUs, gaming-wise? When do you think it is best to decide to update? Do you desire to update your CPU or GPU first?
The best answer that I can give anyone is you should only upgrade when you have a problem, right? If you have a problem with performance, then you need to evaluate what that performance problem is. Like say, for example, you were to upgrade to a 500 hertz display, and you're sitting here going, well, let's sunk cost fallacy this biz. I spent $800 and however many dollars on a 1080p monitor, and I'm only getting 300 FPS in my games. Realistically, I'm running at 1080p. The problem ain't my GPU. All right, it's time for some super low latency memory and a CPU upgrade or something like that, right? You've got to think critically. You've got to look at where the bottlenecks are in your system and where the weak points are that are actually going to affect your use case. Because every system is bottlenecked. Every system is bottlenecked all the time. That's the thing that you've got to remember. And when I say bottlenecked, I mean that if it wasn't bottlenecked, if there was nothing restricting performance, then the performance would be infinite, right? Makes sense, right? So hold on, I need to think for 1 second. Okay, this is going to plug into that, which is going to plug, okay, yeah, I did this in completely the wrong order while I was talking. So you've got to target, whether that bottleneck is actually affecting you in any way. Like if your bottleneck is your CPU, but you're running at 900 frames per second, then that's not a meaningful bottleneck. That's not one that matters to you. Or if, oh man, I'm trying to think. Or okay, let's say you had a storage bottleneck, but it's some kind of, like it's just copying files around, right? So it's something that you do once a month. Does that actually matter? Well, the answer is probably no. So you've just got to think critically. about what matters to you and also what the cost is and whether it's worth it. So I would say in general, upgrading your GPU is still the way to go if you want to get more gaming performance. However, if you've upgraded your GPU in the last few years, I mean, NVIDIA and AMD, they seem to kind of work in lockstep to a degree, have really slowed down their pace as the CPU side has accelerated the pace of innovation over the last, I'd say, 3 to 4 years. So if you asked me that question back in 2019, I would say, oh yeah, man, GPUs are moving so fast, and as long as you've got a CPU from the last 8 years, you're fine. I wouldn't necessarily say that that's the case anymore, especially if you're targeting a use case like this, extremely high refresh rate gaming at a relatively low resolution. Then I'd say, yeah, your GPU from 3 years ago is probably more than fine, and it might be time for a CPU and some super low latency memory or something like that. Hit me, Badan.
Okay. Is renewable energy tech something you would consider in the future? Especially testing longevity and efficiency of photovoltaic panels and inverters. As consumers, it's really hard to compare.
Yeah. Yet another industry that is a perfect example of what I was talking about earlier, where the people who know want to be the people who know, and they don't really want other people to know. The installers. I found some when I was doing research for my own solar install that were really, really nice, and I found some that basically were not interested in talking to you at all unless you were booking a job with them. And then it was pretty much just to sort of tell them what your target was, and they would do all the spec and not involve you at all. With that said, I don't think that that's a space that we're in a position to really tackle right now, either on the LTT side or on the lab side. It's just, there's so many other lower hanging fruit for us to go after right now that I can't commit it. Sorry. All right, I'm running all these lower fans. There's a lot of pre-installed fans in this case. You got the one in the back, you got these two in the bottom. This is awesome. So I'm gonna plug all of these into the bottom here, hoping that when I get my power, oh cool, oh no, this is great, yeah. The way the power supply fits, it's sideways. Oh, that's how they managed to get this thing so, relatively speaking, slim for this style of case where you've got these different like airflow zones and stuff. All right, so we're gonna just run these over here where they will be out of the way of the power supply, and they will all plug into these fan headers down here. Okay, where's my little fan header boys at? Hit me with another one, Dan.
Okay.
Oh wow, how am I gonna do this?
Hey, Linus, could we have a keycap set from you guys? I would love to have some sort of short-circuit themed keycap set. Also, I'd love to see more merch in the style of the LTT totes.
Wow. The honest answer, did I promise honesty in my merch messages today?
You better be honest.
That's the thing I did. Okay. The reason that we've never done a keycap set is that there's no money in it. That's the Scout's honor reason that we've never done it. We don't have the production, facilities for it, obviously, right? There's certainly people that we could partner with to do some kind of keycap or keycap set. Ouch! Damn, that hurt. Yeah. Like we've talked to guys like Drop about it, but the reality of it is that everyone needs a cut, and all we're really doing is contributing a color scheme, essentially, and then wanting a cut. So all we're really doing is increasing the price of it. And we just haven't found a way to get pricing competitive in a way that our R&D time or design time or just time, right? Time is the greatest bottleneck of all. We haven't found a way to make it make any sense to spend time on it compared to almost literally anything else that we could be doing. Whether that's fixed shaft screwdrivers or bit holders or jackets or whatever, just anything else would be better from a business standpoint. And we've got some major investments to take care of. Like, we're not in trouble or anything. It's not like that. But we've got some major investments in the lab to pay for, and we can't screw around with that. So the answer is No, for the foreseeable future. It's partly, oh, I guess there's also the what are we contributing question. That's something that we ask ourselves every time we approach a product or a product category is, what are we doing differently that contributes something to this? And the answer, as far as I could really tell, is nothing. I don't really think we're adding anything. You could get a keyboard in pretty much any color scheme you can imagine these days. So yeah, just do that. You know, if there's someone else doing it really well, like why are we butting our heads in or butting our noses into this? That's the other big one. What was the? Oh yeah, an example I was going to give of that is actually not just keycaps but keyboards. We obviously thought about doing a keyboard, you know, back when the mechanical keyboard space was really starting to take off. But my whole thing, and this was in the early days of screwdriver productions, this is like almost four years ago or something like that. So this is in the early days of screwdriver, and we were kind of going, yeah, keyboard. Everyone's like super into keyboards. Let's do a keyboard. We'll partner with someone, or we'll develop our own keyboard. We'll find a manufacturer. Blah 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 blah. And every conversation kind of ended up being circular, because we would ask ourselves, okay, you know, how will our keyboard be different? And the answer would be, we got nothing. And we kind of go, but there's all this demand for keyboards. People want keyboards. Like, okay, all right, how's ours going to be different? I don't know. Okay, well then, but there's all this demand for keyboards, right? And honestly, like looking at some of the stuff that's coming out now, who is it that has that keyboard that has like the full display under the clear keys or whatever it is, that wild thing that I saw on a previous stream?
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, who makes that again? I can't remember. It doesn't matter. The point is, I don't want to compete with that, right? And you can't differentiate anymore by just having a high quality chassis and a open firmware or whatever. So I just don't see it happening. I'm plugging in the front I/O for those of you who are actually tuning into this for computer building. There's our front USB. I'll be careful to not plug in the front USB-C the wrong way, like XQC. There we go. This is a nice looking case, hey? Man, this is coming together nicely. Really easy too. I have put zero thought and effort whatsoever into cable management. You can tell just looking at it. Okay, I shouldn't say zero. I made sure that my fans up here are plugged in the right order so that their RGB effects will go in the right order or whatever. But that's it. This is awesome. Where's my power supply at? Ah, we've gone with an ROG Thor Platinum 2. Oh, what makes it Platinum 2? Ooh, complete with lots of new certifications. All right, let's pull this up. Why did we decide on this? The recommendation for our GPU is 1,000 watts. Okay. Even though we proved a 4090 will technically run on a 550 watt power supply, we did do that. We're not going to take our chances today. It's platinum rated, especially quiet, RGB, 0 decibel fan mode. Fun fact, it's got an OLED screen. I promised at the beginning of the video I was going to do the reasonable alternatives, and then I just totally forgot about it. Cool. Harrison, feel free to yell at me next time you notice that I've completely forgotten to do the video. That's definitely a necessary job when I'm around. So our reasonable alternative for this anyway is the Seasonic Prime Titanium 850 watt for a full, $60 cheaper. And it'll do pretty much basically the same thing, but fewer watts. You turn down those 4 watts. I guess I'll talk through some of the rationale of some of the stuff that I glossed over before. So that cooler is the Fractal Lumen S36 RGB. It's chock full of RGB. They're one of the few AIO companies to not use Asetek as an OEM. So it really has a lower price. I mean, it's $200. Anyway, the alternative is the EK 280mm DRGB AIO for $125. Really? EK has an AIO for that little? All right. Well, we used the Fractal one. I'm going to go, oh, wow. It's funny how this case is big and yet really tight in some ways. Yes, that is a ventilated side panel, which is good because I'm going to be drawing air directly from the outside. Let's go ahead and get this screwed in. And 1, 2. Oh, I like that. the case manufacturer includes power supply screws. I remember talking to Corsair about that once. They're like, no, the power supply should include power supply screws. I'm like, yeah, it should. And usually it does, but in the event that it doesn't, it's nice when the case includes them. And they were like, we'll consider it. And I think they did nothing with that feedback. Oh, ASUS goes one step further, actually, and puts the screw in the power supply, unless this is one that we've used before and someone put it back with the screws in place. I have seen this trick before, though. I have seen brand new power supplies with the screws in them. All right, hit me again, Dan.
Okay. I'm an audiologist based in Scotland. Have you ever looked into the incredible technology involved in using in hearing aids, i.e. the use of deep neural networks, etc.?
I have to confess that while I haven't, what I have noticed is there's this convergence happening right now between the sort of most affordable of hearing aids and the most premium of just wireless Bluetooth earphones. It's pretty cool just seeing features like enhancing speech clarity make their way into headphones, just as something that I guess they just think, well, I don't know, anyone could probably benefit from that, when we would have traditionally thought of that as like an accessibility function. I have seen some discussion around the much higher pricing of traditional hearing aids compared to those types of headphones, and I've seen some people in the community hoping that this is a trend that's going to continue, so that just better hearing will be more affordable for all, and you won't need special coverage from your medical plan in order to even have a chance of affording these hearing aid devices. But my understanding is we're not quite there yet. That's the most insight that I can kind of provide into that, at least off the cuff without doing a bunch of research.
Dan, you switch to the stationary.
Hit me again, Dan.
All right, let's see what else we got here. Have you ever had an itch for a green thumb? Tech and agriculture seem to go surprisingly well. 3D printing pots, hydroponics, smart home sensors for plants, all that sort of stuff.
All right.
3D printed grow up.
Yeah. I have to confess, I am not into things that require a ton of work to take care of. It's a big part of the reason that I prefer cats over dogs. I've had people say, like, internally, I'll go over to their house, they're like, oh, I know you don't like dogs, but my dog is here. I'm like, I don't not like dogs. I like dogs just fine. I don't like taking care of dogs. Dogs are a ton of work compared to cats. I think dog people do not fully appreciate how little work a cat is if you just don't feel like it for a bit. It's not that we neglect our cats or anything like that. Like, we interact with them every day. But if we want to go away to Disneyland for a long weekend, we just overfill the food dish, top up, leave out a few extra water dishes, make sure there's fresh litter. See you later, kitties. And then we come home, and they're like, oh, I guess you're back. It's great. It's amazing. And so for me, plants are kind of like that, except that unlike a cat, a plant gives me absolutely nothing in return in terms of interactivity and affection.
I mean, oxygen's pretty nice.
Yeah, oxygen's good, but someone else can deal with the plant that gives me the oxygen. I cannot be arsed to take care of a plant. Now, I know your question was from like a tech perspective, where theoretically the idea is that I wouldn't really have to take care of the plant. It would just sort of take care of itself automatically. And you're right, but I would have to do a bunch of setup for that. And once again, I could not be bothered. I just don't care. I'm not into it. I don't hate plants, I just don't care about plants, and I don't want to take care of them. That's all. Hit me again.
I always love videos where Linus tries to unintentionally destroy all the hardware for a build. Any plans on implementing an EU store, or is that just not viable?
The EU store is an eventuality. It'll happen at some point. The problem is just that the overhead associated with having a business operation running over there, like I've seen a lot of people speculate that we're just lazy or we're just cheap or we're just something, right? That there's some reason other than what I've said for why we don't have an EU shipping depot. The answer, there's no conspiracy theory. The answer really is exactly what I've told you guys. From a taxation and compliance standpoint, it's more complicated. The more tax jurisdictions that you do business in, the more complicated your accounting is. Our accounting department is already 5% of the company, just to maintain the books, because it's already complicated to even sell into all these different regions, let alone having physical locations there. Once you're physically located there, it's way more complicated. And it's not because we're trying to skirt regulations or we're trying to something. Like I've seen every conspiracy theory you can possibly imagine about, what's he trying to avoid? I'm trying to avoid a bunch of extra work. That's it. I'm being completely upfront, 100% honest with you guys. It's a ton of extra work, and it's also a ton of extra cost. Yes, shipping will be more affordable to our EU customers. However, that extra burden of maintaining that extra location is going to eat into that. Someone has to pay for that building. Somebody has to pay for the people who work in it. That's not free. So you're robbing from Peter to pay Paul to an extent. Now, if you can do enough volume to justify it, great. But we don't know that we can. We haven't done the analysis to know for sure that we can. Even if we did it, it wouldn't be a guarantee. And while we ramped up, someone else, so that is everyone, would have to be paying the difference. There's also the fact that it would make inventory management much more complicated. Right now, we manage everything out of one warehouse. And I still remember vividly what a nightmare it was for my former employer, NCIX, when we opened up a warehouse across the country in Markham. Now, all of a sudden, your website can't just be in stock. It's, in stock at this location, or in stock at that location, or heaven forbid, partially in stock at this location and partially in stock at the other one. That's the worst. So every once in a while, you'd run into an edge case where you order two things and you end up not only paying shipping from the EU to the EU, so you're better shipping, but you end up paying North American shipping too. And so I'm kind of sitting here going, okay, yeah, on the one hand, we get some competitive advantage, right? We get lower shipping costs to the EU. But on the other hand, we're adding a whole bunch of stuff that is either unknown or definitely bad. So it's not a simple decision. It's not just as simple as, I'd love the shipping cost to be lower for EU customers, so let's just do it. They would be, but also there's a big asterisk there. They wouldn't necessarily be. So it's a big challenge. And yeah, if we were, like a multinational or whatever, sure, we would solve that problem. But right now, we only have a handful of people in procurement for Creator Warehouse. And if you actually go through the site, pour through the site, what you'll realize is there's a ton of SKUs. And we're looking to add more, right? We want to add husky sizes and tall sizes for our t-shirts. So all of a sudden, do the math. You think of a t-shirt as, it's the t-shirt. That's how it displays on the website. Now hold on a second. So there's the t-shirt. So that's one item. Then you've got your sizes. Okay, so you've got your extra small, your medium, your large, your extra large, your 2XL, your 3XL. We're looking to add 4, 5, and 6XL. Okay, so one t-shirt is now 10 SKUs. Okay, now hold on a second. If you've got tall sizes, holy crap, okay, so that's 20. And then if you've got husky sizes, maybe not 30, but probably 25, because you would probably do that in your XL and up or whatever, so something. So okay, that's 35 SKUs. Well, everyone wants a black shirt, right?
Then you get colors.
Right? Everyone wants a black shirt? You don't need any color other than black? Oh, you want other colors? Oh my God. How many colors do you want? Because every single color we add is 35 more SKUs, assuming that we're offering every variant in every color. So you could just have t-shirt, and it could easily be 250 SKUs. You want all of them in Europe? Okay, but what if we discover, say hypothetically, that in America, we sell a lot more 6XL than we do in Europe, hypothetically. Oh, crap. We have 200 units of 6XL in mauve in our European warehouse. We have to get that now to North America somehow so that we can sell it to the Americans because we screwed that up. And you guys might sit there and go, well, that's your problem. And it's like, well, yeah, but it's everyone's problem because we're not going to operate at a loss. Anytime a business adds an efficiency, someone has to pay for it. Guess who someone is? So until we can do it well, we're just not going to do it. Let's. You guys saw me plugging in the 8-pin power connectors for the motherboard. Let's do the 24-pin over here. We're not going to have a lot of PCIe devices, so I'm not going to bother plugging in this aux 6-pin right here. We just really don't need to. And I've got my dual 8-pins hanging out here for my GPU. Let's go ahead and unbox that. This is, even at 1080p, okay? We did not want to be bottlenecked, so we went with the fastest frickin' RTX 4090 on the block. The MSI Supreme, is it just Supreme or is it Supreme X? Yeah, Supreme X. Let's get some specs on this bad boy. Where the devil am I gonna find this? Ah, yes, here we go. $1,700 US. BIOS switch for gaming and silent modes. Oh my God, it's heavy. Okay. Oh, this is another fun one. The coolers for these 4090s are so over-engineered that we've got a video coming where we put a computer in our environmental chamber, because obviously we're going to do that. And Alex and I were both blown away by what happens when you run a 4090 in 50-degree ambient temperatures. 50. Guess what?
What?
Well, at least the one that we ran, it was a Strix. No thermal throttling. 50 degrees! Yeah, and there's a lot of other really mind-bending stuff that happens in that video. You guys are not going to want to miss it. I think that's coming out in the next week or so. Oh yeah, why did I think I needed only 2 8-pins? Yeah, time to get some more. What is this? Oh, interesting. What am I looking at here? What power supply is this for? This seems like an extremely, wait, what? Who put, this is what I'm talking about. Whoever used this last, this is scary. You could easily plug this modular cable into an incompatible power supply and fry this $1,700 GPU. This should not be in here. There's a PCI bracket. There's a thumb screw. The thumb screw might be part of this support brace. I'll leave the thumb screw in, but Son of Harris.
I will return those to where they belong.
Yeah, can you please check with logistics so they can see who signed that out last for what project, and we can maybe try and track down what power supply and case those pieces belong with. These are the kinds of daily stressors that I definitely need in my life. 384-bit memory interface, 480 watts of power consumption in gaming mode. It's a Son of Harris, did you make sure this actually fits in the case?
It's too wide, isn't it?
Oh my God, these are going to be pressed right up against the glass. Do you guys want to try?
Yeah.
All right, let's do the applausometer. We're bringing back the applausometer. Let's go, Dan.
You have a backup 4090.
You ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay. The options are, we go with the 4-slot 4090 that looks like it's going to sit right against the glass, knowing that the one 4090 we've tested at 50 degrees didn't throttle. Or we go with our backup 4090. Apparently we have a backup 4090. What do you, oh, it's, really? That's how you store a 4090? Yeah. Unbelievable.
That's where I put my feet.
Okay, this is some colorful iGame 4090. All right, thanks, Dan.
You're welcome.
Okay, all right, ready? Well, hold on, yeah, okay. So option 1, the 4-slot monster from MSI. So you guys got to hit the chat. You guys got to explode the chat for the option you want. Okay, now we got to do like a 10-second wait. No, Dan, get that. They're voting for this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, vote for this. Okay, all right. Okay, thank you, chat.
Yeah.
Okay, Oh, okay, that's pretty active. Option 2, the 3-slot wimp out version. Not that I'm trying to influence the vote here. Do you need help? Need help holding that? I can support some of the weight. I don't have it. Don't let go. That's tough to say. Oh, yeah. I don't know if this is that close. Yeah, even most of the explode during the option 2 voting period was people just spamming 1. Okay, looks like we're going for it. The 4-slot monster. Do you want to hit me with a merch message while I get these screws undone?
Sure, I can do that. And
Man,
if
do
you
you
tell
remember
me
when
the,
these PC build streams used to be instructional?
Honestly, no. Been so long.
Now it's just hang out with me while I build a computer, and the computer is very secondary to the experience.
And Gina, let me know the asset tag on that. We can publicly shame whoever screwed up the box.
You don't need to public.
No, we don't need to publicly shame anyone.
All right,
We
fine.
need to have a just quiet, private conversation with them and say,
Fine.
hey, could we
Don't
do better next
foster a
time?
hostile work environment.
Only slightly
All right, here's your merch question. Could we get a live stream or video on how Dan sets up the live stream broadcasts and how he controls things? Possibly a collab with CRD, Cathode Ray Dude, who collects analog video toasters and such.
I fail to see the relevance of Cathode Ray Dude to that particular piece of content. Interesting. Okay. I mean, maybe I'm missing something. I am aware of Cathode Ray Dude, and I've seen some cool videos. I don't know what they would have to do with that. As for whether we would do anything where Dan shows off the setup, yeah, I could see us doing something like that, but I don't think it's the kind of thing we'd upload to YouTube. It would not perform well enough to please the YouTube algorithm.
Oh my God, no.
So I'd imagine it being more like a float plane exclusive or something like that.
It might have been 2 statements as well. Maybe you collaborate with CRD.
Oh, maybe they were
Maybe?
2 separate things. I mean, yeah,
Could have been.
I could see that happening.
Pastors replace one of my CITs.
Yeah,
I could do some calibration on them.
excellent.
That's super exciting. It doesn't take 4 hours.
Yeah, time for another merge message.
What a good choice. Hey, Linus and Dan, loving the streams. Are you guys planning a 7000 series CPU pillow? Also, thanks for the WAN show.
Well, this is one of those things where I don't think I need to answer the question. Let's look at the crazy promo that we're doing on the AMD Edition CPU pillows right now and see if we can infer whether they're moving well on their own. And based on that, let's see if we can figure out if we're going to do a 7000 series AMD pillow. I would say all signs are pointing to probably not. I mean, nothing, you never know. This could end up sort of kickstarting like jump-starting the category a little bit, giving it a fresh life. You know, we haven't really talked about the CPU pillows a lot lately, and that's a big part of the problem. So who knows? Maybe, but probably not.
Linus, what's a reasonable alternative to the 4090?
Oh, our reasonable alternative to the 4090 would be the XFX Speedster 7900 XTX for $1,200, but on sale for $1,050. So that's just over MSRP, and I guess that's about the best that we can hope for, because does it seem like GPU prices are kind of creeping up again? Does anyone else notice this? I'm not liking it. Whether it's the big explosion in machine learning and all the silicon that NVIDIA produces making its way over there, or whether it's something else. I don't know what it is yet. I just haven't really looked into it. But it does seem like GPU prices kind of bottomed out and are no longer bottomed out. Not down. Not cool. All right, hit me again.
Okay. A while ago, you talked about having an LTDstore.com sell computer parts at a higher cost than anywhere else, but with a promise for actual good customer service. Have you given that any more thought?
I have given it more thought. I have not made any progress whatsoever on actually doing anything like that, though. There'd be a lot involved. We'd have to do a whole bunch of, actual business stuff. Projections and figuring out, again, it's down to that same question. What are we adding? You know, what are we contributing? What's our differentiating factor here? And if the differentiating factor is good customer service, I don't want to paint too broad of a brush. I don't want to paint with too broad of a brush here, but I have enough experience in retail to know that there's a certain type of customer that might gravitate towards a place that is known to have extremely good customer service with the intention of exploiting it, right? I've personally experienced that. So we would have to make sure that we're not just charging more so that we can create an insurance policy for scammers who are going to be ripping us off at the expense of everyone else who shops with us. Why? Like, why would we do that? That's not cool. That's not fair to the people that, you know, really just want to shop at a place that they can trust. So there's a lot of work that would need to go into that. All right, I give up. Where does this control mount for the screen?
It's only temporary.
It's temporary. Oh, you just configure it and then you unplug it.
Exactly.
Okay. And then I am just going to gaff tape this screen in place.
Okay.
What are you supposed to do?
Basically that.
Oh my God.
It's a friction fit.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a friction fit. So you just put gaff tape on the back of the display and then just have it friction there.
That's friction.
That's the stupid.
Show me what that looks like.
So what they want is for you to just put some tape on the back of the display here so that it sits in here and doesn't slide.
Actually, they had it at the bottom.
They had it at the bottom.
Well, same.
Okay. Unbelievable. Fine. Nope, I'm not doing that. Do we have any scissors?
I will get you those.
Thanks. Unreal. Man, we are close. You know what? We can fire this thing up. Let's do it. I'm not closing all the panels. Don't worry, I don't need the bad GBs today. Hey, there's a little piece of foam in there. It's bothering me. Okay, well, now I can't really see it. And it's gone. Cool. Oh, this is great. 500 hertz gaming, guys. Hopefully at 500 frames per second. And we've got a bunch of games preloaded on here, right?
I believe yes.
Very exciting. Oh man, I'm worried about this DisplayPort cable. It claims to be DP 1.4, but I've had a lot of bad experiences with long DisplayPort cables just not handling high refresh rate or high resolution, let alone both. Oh, mind you, this is only high refresh rate. Still, at 500 hertz, you actually need display stream compression in order to run this monitor on DP 1.4. Like, wild, right? Because it's just so many freaking hertz that even though the resolution's quite low. Oh yeah, that'll do. Oh, I had a knife. I didn't think of that. Derp. Okay, all right, we got this. Oh, shoot, I'm dumb. I need a Molex connector to power my stupid screen here because I'm a big dumb idiot and I bought an extra screen to put inside my case. I mean, I'm a discerning customer. Man of culture. Okay, sorry. Let me just try to cut this to a reasonable size here. Want to hit me with a merch message?
Yeah, sure. I've got one here for you. How many times have you been called Linux by mistake?
More than you'd probably think. I'll have people walk up to me on the street and be like, "Oh, Linux, I've been a fan for so long." I'm sitting here going, "Really?" Like, to be clear, I don't care. My feelings aren't hurt. I don't think people should really be fans of like anything. You can respect someone or something or whatever else, but you know, I think fan has sort of a connotation of irrationality and that, you know, is not necessarily healthy. But if you're going to use the word, you know, you should at least know the name of the person you're using it about. That's all I'm saying. I'd say like kind of a bare minimum requirement. Okay, yeah, hit me again.
Sure. Hi, Linus. Y'all be interested in expanding your Gen Tech channel to include industrial tech, stuff like farming equipment or heavy machinery, and the softwares behind the equipment?
Man, I am always down for some kind of, wow, you know, I never really like thought about tech that way topic. The issue is finding that sweet spot where you're finding stuff that you can shine a light on, and that's really cool, without putting yourself in a position where you're probably just going to end up like misinforming people about it. Like I feel like something like farming equipment, because I don't have the real world experience of actual farming. Like I grew up on a hobby farm, but we didn't farm commercially, right? Because I don't have that experience, I might look at something like a John Deere tractor and go, wow, it's a really cool feature, without considering some of the challenges that community is going through with getting John Deere to support their right to repair their devices, for example. And obviously, oops, 1 second. Obviously, the example I just gave is one that I, am somewhat educated about and can talk about, but I wouldn't know what I don't know. So I try to find cool tech that I can talk about without venturing so far outside of my zone or the zones of the people here on our team that we are at risk of. I hope I did not just break this, but I accidentally cut into a thing that I don't think I was supposed to cut into just now. Okay, well, good luck, everybody. And that's the display. Perfect. And then is the HDMI cable also supposed to be temporary?
No.
That's supposed to be there all the time?
Oh, yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay. And any suggestions on where to route it? I guess here?
Oh.
Okay. This is stupid. I mean, it's cool, but it's stupid cool. Not like, man, that's stupid cool. Like, it's like stupid and cool, I guess. All right, let's plug this in. Does it say which input or does it matter?
It does not say.
Does not say. All right, we're just going to go with whatever then. And then, is there a way for it to come out the back?
Through the hard drive thing?
I mean, yeah, that's an option. That's sort of ugly. I've got an idea. I think it can just, maybe? Oh, I don't even know. I don't know if this is gonna work. Oh! That synchronized reaction though, I love it. Okay, sure. Okay, sure. I want to make it very clear that I am not recommending this. Is that clear? Is that clear to everyone?
What about the case without the screen?
Oh, the case without the screen is probably fine. But this screen is next level bougie. Do people still say bougie?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, stop, David.
I like French people talking about candles.
If they don't say bougie, then it's fine. You can just tell me that I'm out of touch. I'm comfortable in my skin. Okay, that can just go there. Yeah, that's as good as that's getting right now. Okay, cool. First boot, let's go. Okay, there. Oh, where's my power button at? Did I plug it in? Ha, yes, well, that'll help. Power cable. Hello, nope, hello, yes. Hey, there's where my power cable's at. Cool, hit me with a merch message while I get this plugged in. 500 hertz gaming.
Budget monitor brands seem to buy from the same fabricators as the big monitor brands. Does the software / other hardware make the difference, or should we be saving our money?
There are a lot of things that make a difference. Just because something comes from the same factory doesn't necessarily mean that it's exactly the same product. What you're paying for is, well, you're paying for a lot of things. Okay, so first of all, let's take this 500 hertz monitor. This isn't going to be the only 500 hertz monitor, and Alienware, Dell, is going to be buying from exactly the same panel supplier as ASUS is. So why should I buy this one? Well, a reason to buy this one might be that it's available. So a lot of the time, the bigger brands, because they make big commitments in terms of volume, are going to get access to a hot new part first. And that's one of the big reasons that you're going to see pricing of products fall over an extended period of time, right? Because as more and more brands get access, competition increases and pricing goes down. So that's one thing. Another is QC. Quality control costs money. And while you might get lucky And you might get a perfectly functioning product from a budget brand that does functionally no QC whatsoever. You might not. And so when you increase the chances of something going wrong, then you increase the chance of some kind of inconvenience. Now, it's possible that that inconvenience will be only temporary and you will eventually end up with a functioning product, but it's also possible that you will not because here, and another big shocker, customer service costs money. They have to pay for everything somewhere. So customer service costs money, which means that with a budget brand, you might not necessarily get the same level of customer service. I'm not saying you won't. I'm just saying you might not. It's always a roll of the dice. Another thing is that, yes, budget brands tend to be more cost conscious when designing their products because they know that they're not going toe-to-toe with an Alienware or with an Asus ROG or whatever the case may be. So knowing that they aren't going to be able to sell at that exact same price point, even if they did have all the same features, they're going to be looking more aggressively for things that they can cut. Oh, crap. Sorry, I routed this wrong. So that's another area where they're going to, you might not have height adjustment on the monitor stand, or you might not have as good a scaler built into the monitor. So if you're running at an off resolution, it might not look as good, or whatever the case may be. There's 100 different ways that a display manufacturer. Harrison, do you mind helping clear this to somewhere not here? And then I'm just going to grab peripherals and we'll get this thing rolling here. Thank you so much. So you might be fine, but you're probably going to be a little bit behind the technology curve because they just aren't going to have the latest and greatest necessarily. And you might run into some issues with quality control or customer service. Another thing is that even two of the same panel are not necessarily the same thing. There's grades of panels as they come off of the production line at BOE or oh bloody hell, what's like Acer's one? Well, or LG or Samsung. There's grades of panels, and so if you get an A grade panel, that might have slightly better consistency, or it might have fewer dead pixels, right? There's things about it that might be a little bit better, even if by and large the performance is pretty much the same. So those are all the things that you're paying for when you buy, well, I shouldn't say any brand name product. There are definitely brand name products that just are expensive for no apparent reason. But in tech, because it's so competitive, I really don't feel like it happens that often. Uh-oh.
You flip that switch.
Yeah, let's check. I definitely plugged in the power supply. Whew. Whew. Okay.
Some lights come on.
Okay, cool. Oh yeah. I don't see any RGB, but
Good.
that's probably not the end of the world just yet. Oh my God,
It's literally just a display, huh?
eco mode is on. Yeah, it's literally just an HDMI display. Okay, hello, buddy. Display port. Okay, come on. I really, really need this thing to turn on. I see postcode 15. I really hope postcode 15 is a good postcode. Uh-oh.
That's not a good one.
Well, you guys get to watch me do some live troubleshooting now.
Can you switch to the wide for a bit, Dan?
Asus postcode 15. Here we go. Pre-memory initialization of some of the chips on the motherboard. Okay, so this might be as simple as reseating our RAM, but could be as complicated as reseating our CPU. Oh, what just happened? Wait, it's doing more things now. 68, 70, 70, 43, 91, 0, 0. Oh, 46, 0, 0, 15. Oh, crap. Yeah, it's that 15 again. Wait. Oh, monitor did something. Hello? The light's on. Light's on, no one's home. Crap. Okay. Okay. Maybe this is okay. Let's reseat the memory, and we're just going to really, really hope that that's what is going on here.
And sometimes it can take
Yeah. Well, we're gonna do a quick reseat. And we're gonna try with just 1 stick of RAM. Okay, 1 stick of RAM. Really solid troubleshooting step, okay? Come on, baby. We got this. David, do you believe?
I believe.
Okay, well, I would like you to chill that belief because I think you jinxed it.
No.
It's 15 again.
No, it's gonna go past this one.
I don't think it is. That light is quite yellow indeed. Yes, guys, I'm well aware of what memory training is, but an initialization error is not memory training. If it was at a memory initialization if it was at a memory training postcode, then by all means, let's have that conversation, but it's not.
From Jake, code 15 is memory training.
From Jake?
From Jake.
Is he sure? I don't believe him. That sat for a very long time. Okay, you know what? Fine. Let's try it.
Told you I had a feeling like
I will see. You know what, David? This is what I get for doubting you.
Yeah.
This is what I get for trusting the first result in Google, which did not say memory training. Okay. Well, hit me with a merge message while we wait then.
Okay, let's have a look here. I'm in the process of building my first water cooling loop.
Good for you, Dan, but we're taking merge messages. I'm not talking to you about this.
Oh, you wanted a merch message?
No.
I'm so sorry. Oh, here's this one's from Tanner. I'm in the process of building my first water cooling loop, and I realized that I got the new NZXT B650E that is made by ASRock. Do you see this as a common occurrence in motherboard manufacturing?
Oh, well, there's only like, let's see, who makes motherboards? Like 4, 5 motherboard manufacturers left. I mean, even ASRock and ASUS are super inbred. So that leaves what, like Gigabyte, MSI, and there used to be so many, you know, BioStar, Chaintech, Epox, A-Bit, man, Foxconn did retail boards for a while, Intel did boards. But the thing that you gotta understand is some of those brands, like for example, Intel, to my knowledge, I don't think ever manufactured their own boards. They were contract manufactured, and then Intel did the firmware. Oh, it is proceeding. That's really good. So in response to your question then, is it common for a manufacturer to build a motherboard on a contract basis for someone else? Absolutely, that is definitely a thing. The economies of scale that someone like a Foxconn can enjoy by building not just for themselves, but for dozens or hundreds of other customers, make it impossible for a small outfit to, well, I shouldn't say impossible, but very difficult for a small outfit to compete with them.
Expo should already be enabled.
Okay. Is Expo enabled separately from DOCP? Because I don't see Expo. Let's see, what are these profiles? Okay. I do not see an obvious difference between these profiles. Let's go with the first one. Cool. Ha! Well, that's wonderful. She boots. All right. Thanks for the tech tips, chat. Man, anyone else? I'm just gonna stop using Google. Like, honestly, what if I asked Bing GPT that?
Oh.
I'm gonna do it right now. Bing GPT, hold on a second. Oh wait, I have to use
Do you want me
Edge.
to see the screen or no?
I don't think it matters. Okay, Microsoft Edge. Oh, you know what? No, it might matter a little bit. I think I'm signed into Teams on this thing. Okay, so give me a second. How do I, bloody hell, how do I get Bing GPT? Does anyone know how to do it?
Yeah, I think it was like a private beta invite that we were using last time.
Oh, we were using a private invite?
I think something like that.
Oh, man. Okay. How to use it. Point your web browser, blah, blah, blah. Type your question in the search box. If you have access to the new one, you should see a chat window appear. Oops. Crap. Okay. I mean, why don't I just ask Bing? I'm going to make sure I type it in exactly the same. Let me check what I typed last time. ASUS postcode 15. Let's go, Bing. Pre-memory system agent initialization has started. I wonder if they've started using 15 for memory training as of AM5 or something like that. Yeah, both of these say it's started, but don't necessarily say that anything is going right. Yay! This is awesome. Okay, 500 hertz. Okay, hold on.
Oh.
500 hertz. Oh yeah. Look at. Okay. What? No.
Oh, yeah.
Can you see it, David?
I can see the 60 hertz.
Can you see? Yeah. Yeah. Definitely didn't go 500 hertz by default, but that's okay. We can fix that. What I really want to do is figure out what's going on with my secondary display here. Oh, no way! It's totally working. Oh, okay. Hold on a minute. I mean, we have to game on this, right? Like, everyone else is on the same page here, right?
Oh yeah, just throw out the 500
Okay,
FPS thing.
I'm just making sure that we're all on the same page.
I'm going to change the title to "We Gamed on a Case."
Oh, we have to game on this first, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. I mean, I think that's fairly obvious. We don't even need to have the people applausometer this. I think there's no way it's going to go down any other way. Let's get all of our side panels and everything on, though.
Do you want to configure using those buttons and then take out that little panel?
No, I'm just going to leave it there.
Sure.
I like it. It's stylish. I'm going to have it stick right through here. Yeah, you like it, David.
I think you're required to play Doom on it.
Oh yeah, we're going to play Doom on it.
Yeah, maybe not. It
No,
might not be
no,
installed.
we're gonna play Doom
Somebody else
Eternal.
suggested Tetris. That'd be a perfect Tetris thing.
Hey, there we go. I mean, yeah, that's kind of, seems legit, right?
No.
Oh yeah. There we go. Cool. And then it could just stick right there. What, David? That's not that bad. Yeah. You've done worse. You've done worse in the last 2 weeks.
When have I done this worse?
Oh, I'm just sure you have, because you're David. Could I please get the parts tray? All right, let's go ahead and put the side panel on. I'm not going to take your judgment. Thank you. Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait to game on this thing. It's still dumb, but I'm very excited to game on it. Okay, David, hit me with one more merch message while I put these panels on.
All right, David, get over here.
What?
Which one? Hey Linus, have you found a way around the lack of media controls in Porsche's steering wheel? I hate having to use the infotainment screen to change songs.
Oh. Yeah, it sucks. I actually sent them like a formal through their web. So I went to a dealer because I had to go there anyway and submitted a request at the dealer for them to contact Porsche on my behalf and ask them to fix their media control crap. Because it's as simple as they have this programmable button on the left side of the steering wheel, but it can only be programmed for a single function. So there is no way to program it for a double press to go, so you can't be like play, pause, twice for forward, 3 times for back, which as far as I can tell has been basic functionality on every crappy inline microphone stereo headphone for the last 20 years. There's no way to do that with Porsche's infotainment system. There is a workaround. There are 2 programmable buttons. The second is like way up on the dash over here, and it's like a touch, like a pressure-sensitive touch button. Like, it's stupid. So you can program that to go back, but by that point, you might as well reach over to the infotainment system. I always use Android Auto, so I always have my media controls in the bottom. I did solve that problem, by the way. I talked about it on WAN Show, how Android Auto changed the default view so that it was only a single app. So only my maps would show, and there was no media controls. It's a setting. You have to dig into some stupid arcane submenu in order to find it. But it can be turned back on. So that's my solution. So I have next track on the steering wheel, and then if I ever need to go back, then I have to reach over to the thing. But no, it's dumb. So I both submitted a request through the dealership and separately submitted my own request through their site for them to add the ability to bind, even just double presses would be enough for me. The really dumb thing was it took me a while to figure out that the individualized driving profile doesn't remember. You have to go in and configure the individualized one, because I just want Sport Plus, but with the stupid spaceship noise disabled. That's how I set my individual, but it would never hold. It would just go back to normal or whatever. So I had to reconfigure that. So I had to have one of them used up to turn the stupid spaceship noise off, because otherwise it's like 4 or 5 interactions to turn it off, and it's really dumb. Overall, I love the car, but yes, the media controls are a huge oversight and a big problem. What's also a problem is this is not set to, wow. I am just, even though I knew it was going to be there, that is a lot of high refresh rate options with options that are higher. 500 hertz, okay. Okay, now does it look smooth, David?
Yeah, that looks right.
Smooth? Smooth enough for you? Okay, you should check this out. I don't know if people are going to be able to see it through the camera, how readable that text is as I'm whipping it across the screen. Yeah, probably they won't be able to tell. The answer is very. That's pretty sick. All right, we're going straight to Doom Eternal. Okay, that's pretty smooth. Oh, no, I don't want this mouse. I want my mouse. Yes. Okay, I have it. Sorry? Oh, right, this bag. Well, I don't know if we're going to talk about this bag yet. There's definitely some interesting things going on here. Ooh. Oh, why did I close my laptop? I can't see the chat. Hello, chat. Come back. Where did you go? Where did you go? All right. Let's get this out of here. Oh, no, I have no connection. Oh, why do I have no connection? Is it this yellow cable? Is this yellow cable flaky?
Might have been yanked around for too long.
Because I remember having a problem with this yellow cable before. Hold on, I've got the black cable. Let's try the black cable. Come on, black cable. Show me what you got. I want to see what you got.
Nothing yet. Oh, yeah.
There we go. All right, we need to get this yellow cable just removed then. If it doesn't work, then it should go. Maybe try a quick retermination before we completely give up on it. Ah, he hears me. All right. Oh, frame view. Hello? Okay.
Plugged in?
Yeah. Numlock works. You got a what, sorry? No, that's not the problem. The problem is just that Windows is not. Yeah, see, Control Delete works. Okay, that's fine. We'll sort this out. What was I going to do? Right, frame view. We need to find out. Dang it! What did I just launch? Oh, good, Bing search. Jeez. No. Oh. No, I don't want to do this. Close. Seriously?
No way.
You cannot. Unbelievable. See you later, buddy. Man, wow. Okay, I know we're in the menu, but what the actual crap is going on here? This be a fast computer. Do you see that?
Oh, yeah.
900. Okay. Shh. No way.
What are the settings at? Are they at high?
I doubt we're at high. This does not look like high. This looks like medium. This is a good-looking game under normal circumstances, and it looks kind of mediocre right now. But like, wow. We are actually getting anywhere from 500 to 600 plus frames per second in a firefight. In a firefight. I mean, it's not going to make you a good gamer, okay? We know this. We know this from plenty of past experience. But it sure ain't going to hurt. Can I turn the brightness up on this a little bit?
You're playing on the wrong screen.
Oh yeah, right. I gotta switch over to the other screen. Okay, hold on. No, I kind of want a 500 FPS for a little bit here. Hold on a second. Okay, hold on. Brightness. Can I turn the brightness up, David? Is that okay for filming? Okay, cool. So we've got more brightness.
It's a pretty dim screen.
Yeah. Okay.
That's fine.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's what. Okay. Oh crap! I didn't get it in its mouth. Oh crap! I died. But I died at 700 frames per second. Freaking wild. Okay, now hold on a second. Oh wow, this is a really fast computer. You see that loading time?
Yeah.
It's like, what am I on an Xbox?
Oh, wait.
Wait, I'm running at 720. Did you set this to 720 on purpose?
No, it should have been 1080.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains why it looked kind of poo-poo. Wait, what is going on? Oh, no, here we go. It is at 1080.
Okay.
Oh, but can I
Some medium.
can I just switch? Okay, that is so cool. Doom, why are you so amazing? We're about to game on the secondary monitor. Okay, how do I like change a setting? There, apply changes. Wait, no. Okay, that's weird. Window mode, full screen, monitor 2. How do I change which monitor run? I love this aspect ratio, 384 by 103.
We got a shot of that.
That's genius. Okay, fine. Let's stay on 1 for now. Yeah, we're on medium. Okay. 1 medium. Did I change anything? Yeah, ray tracing off. Okay, resume. Oh wow, we're still getting like almost. It goes almost to 500. I'm so busy looking at my FPS counter, I'm not even able to play the game. Just go away. What the? Did I just die? Dang it. This is still unreal. I mean, Doom. It's just, like it's multiple things, right? It's the responsiveness, it's the clarity, but, okay, as I'm sitting here talking about what a great gaming experience this is, we also have to consider that, yeah, it's great, but the reasonable recommendations that we meant to kind of provide along the way, but sort of forgot about halfway through, those reasonable recommendations would get us to at least 80 to 90% of this experience at a much, much lower price.
Would you like the total cost?
Yeah, do you want to give me the total cost of this setup?
$4,246.
$4,246. Does that include the monitor, or is that just the tower?
That includes the monitor.
That includes the monitor.
Yeah, that's not bad.
What do you mean it's not bad? Oh, okay, I don't know. Context matters, right? Like, it's not bad from the perspective of, if you go back and you look at, computer magazine ads from the 1990s, where any computer of any sort was going to cost you $5,000 for a complete setup. Yeah, wow, we've come a long way. Top tier gaming PC with multiple monitors, one of them built into your case, 4090, fastest gaming processor, 500 hertz display. Yeah, man, well, we've come a long way. But if you compare it to what I would pay for a 240 hertz monitor, which is literally $200, a quarter of the price. If you compare it to what I would pay for a 7900 XTX, which is 80 to 90% of the performance of this at 2/3 of the price. The argument starts to fall apart a little bit. All right, enough Doom. Oh wait, no, not enough Doom for now. We're gonna play on that display. Sorry, what'd you say, Harrison? K-screen. Oh, yeah, sorry, it was Dan. Well, someone was talking to me. 500 FPS Doom, though. I love it. Okay, so if I just click 2 and then apply. Yeah, we tried that. Oh, did it go? I could have sworn. No, that's good.
Are you going to change the orientation?
Nope.
Can we change the PC orientation?
Why would I do that? All right, resume. Let's go.
This is not the worst display I've ever seen.
I think that's pretty sharp from over here.
I mean, it's 1080 class. Like, obviously, it's skinnier, but okay, sticky bombs, sure.
Ergo computer.
Yeah. Wow, we're at 1,000 FPS, though. Let's go.
Got the counter doesn't even go higher.
Wow. Okay, it's pretty smeary. Fair bit of motion blur. But with that said, man, it's okay, contrast not great. When you consider how skinny it is, though, you know, it's not like it has a big old powerful backlight behind it. And the colors are not bad. Viewing angle's not bad. It's not TN. Oh, whoops. It's not the best IPS I've ever seen either, but you know what? And as much as it's taped on and kind of, you know, there's a bit of a gap there, and there's a, you know what? Part of it not being that bright is that it has tinted glass in front of it. I could imagine some pretty cool stuff to put on something like this. Even just like, you know, all your like hardware infographs, or like, because it's a full-on display, you can do anything with it. You don't even have to plug it into your computer. You could plug it into a Raspberry Pi that you stick on the back of your case, or, you know, shove over on the back panel there, and it could run something else entirely, right? All right, height. It's pretty cool. I figured out where this stupid thing is from. Obviously, right? Obviously, height was not able to meet the minimum order quantities to get a custom resolution, custom form factor panel produced for them. You know where this is from? It's from one of those stupid dual screen laptops. It's probably from that AliExpress one. Is it the same resolution?
It is not.
Oh, it's not. Okay. It's probably from some weird dual screen laptop. And when I say stupid dual screen laptops, I don't mean they're stupid. I just mean it's stupid. I didn't think of it before. But that's probably what this is from. Or maybe a car infotainment system or something like that. It's going to be from something like this. And the laptop hypothesis is the best one that I have so far. All right. Cool. Let's try some more games at 500 FPS. I'm super ready. How close do you think Halo Infinite's going to get?
It'll get to 350.
Well, let's see. Let's see. Do you have a couple more merch messages for me?
I think I've got just one more here.
Just one more.
Yeah.
All right.
Hi, Linus. In the tour of the studio when you first moved in, you said there was a huge leap in views per day when you hired Nick Light. What other challenges have caused such large increases in views per day? What other changes?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, the big thing there was, no offense to Nick Light, not that Nick Light made our content better. Nick Light was brought in a business role to sell sponsorships and stuff. The big difference there was that I was able to focus entirely on creative instead of focusing on, well, business interactions, doing business deals. That was it, right? That was when that happened. There hasn't really been, if anything, I think that my attention to creative over time has crept back toward less and less, and I think that's something that we do need to address. Yeah, sorry, I wish I could, oh, is there a non-team, oh, Tactical Slayer. Is this just,
I thought the top place was Lone Wolf.
Oh, Lone Wolves. Oh, hello. Let's go. Cool. Yeah, if anything, I feel like the changes that we've undergone since then have been more to do with the functionality of the platform and the changing tastes of the audience. I think we could probably see a similar hockey stick moment today if we pivoted to shorts and really focused on getting lots of views in shorts. We've seen some success with it from our limited experimentation, but the problem is that right now there is not really significant money in shorts, and so we can't pursue it with our full weight because we would collapse under our weight. We've got over 100 people here now, right? Like if the monetization of shorts is a fraction of AdSense and it doesn't lend itself very well to things like in-video sponsorships, like the ones that we've done in this video, or to things like calling out merch. I guess now's a good time to do one more call out. LTT Store special promo right now. Full details are in the description, but our Team Red CPU pillow, 50 by 50, and our Threadripper CPU pillow, 64.5 by 50, are on a wild promotion right now where 3 in every 25 are going to have an actual CPU in the box as well. Valued anywhere from a little over $100 to just shy of $600, if I recall correctly. All the details are at the link in the video description. Stuff like that. I mean, that would be the whole short. How do we bake that in? So how do we? Whoa, hi. All right. Well, I got a kill. Wow, that's responsive. Oh wait, what even gun is this? Does your gun change when you kill something? I've never done this game mode before. Ooh, oh, okay. So every time you get a kill, your gun changes. So that's called gun game, right?
In CSGO, it's called gun game.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called in Halo.
Lone Wolf, the playlist we got.
Okay.
But what FPS do you have?
Oh, right. What FPS? 420. Nice. Nice. Man, that's responsive. I almost feel like my mouse is too light. You know, like it's too, everything's too instantaneous. Do you get what I mean? Like, hold still for me, baby. Wait, where'd you come from? People are shooting at me. Why are they shooting at me? So violent, so aggressive. What was I supposed to be talking about? Oh, look at this guy with his sniper rifle. No! Got him. Okay, so does my gun change? Ugh. I don't know all the guns in this game, actually. There's just a handful that I like and I use. So I don't even know what this one does. Oh, okay. Some kind of energy gun. Come on, someone come for me. Oh, man, this feels good. It's just... What is this gun? Okay, well, I got my kill, so I guess I don't care. Oh, why would it spawn me right in front of a cliff like that? If I just walk forward, I just die. Oh, I suck.
No, that was some good tracking.
There was a pillar.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the season? Well, I don't know. Is it autumn? It doesn't matter. Crap.
Halo joke? Like a pillar autumn?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, there, that counts. Wait, what? That doesn't count! Shut up! That's stupid. I think if I smack him with a sniper rifle, that should count. You know what? The tracking does feel good.
Floatplane has a good comment here. Put the chat on the case screen.
I could totally have chat on the
That'd
case
be
screen.
great. Yeah.
I'm not going to do that right now,
No,
though.
no.
Good suggestion, because I'm not signed into Floatplane on that computer. Come on, come on, come on. Dang it. You know what? I am not normally that good at like tracking a moving target like that with the sniper, though. I do not need a scope. Come back. Got him! Okay. I like this a lot. What the crap is this thing? What is going on? It does no damage. It doesn't matter. The point is, Halo Infinite at 400 FPS on a 500 hertz monitor, I often say it won't make you a better gamer, but David, you've seen me game a lot.
That was pretty good, man.
Like,
That was pretty good.
okay. All right, I want you guys to take some of what I said in the review of this thing with the caveat that I was not using my mouse. This has my profile on it, so it actually is at the right DPI, which is one of the reasons I carried it around with me in my backpack so that when I'm on set, I'll have the proper mouse, but I forgot my backpack the day we filmed that, so I was using a different mouse. It still is, the right mouse matters more than the right display, but when you've got everything dialed in, that felt good. That felt really good. I do not normally track that well. And as we discussed when we did the collab with Shroud, it's not just the smoothness of the animation. It's not about that. It's about the latency between what's changing on the display and what you're trying to track here. The less you have, the easier it is to stay in sync. All right, there's something to be said for high-end computers, it turns out. I guess we're all still in a job. People still need to build high-end computers. High five! Yeah, high-end computers.
All right.
But also, you could spend like half as much and really get like 90% of this experience. I want to make that very clear. Okay, is there any last merch messages? Anyone sneak in and grab the CPU pillow deal or no?
I don't think so.
All right.
I think that's about it.
All right, one last game then. Last game, CSGO, the classic. Nothing could possibly make me good at this game. And the reason for that is that I just do not know the spray patterns and stuff.
I think there's a setting that's off.
Oh.
It's like,
No, I think FPS is capped in the menu, though.
oh, that's fair. That's
Yeah, yeah, no, I think it should be okay. And if not, I'll just go, yeah, there we go.
Right.
I think it's still capped, though. I'll have to put in the command.
It is still capped.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. I'll uncap
I
it.
have it right here.
Hold on, I might remember it. Let's see if I got this. FPS underscore, yeah, there we go. Max 1,000. Woo! Woo! CSGO 700, 800 FPS, anyone? Anyone? Wow, again, it feels almost too twitchy in a sense. Is this even at 1080p though? Hold on a second. That looks like crap. Okay, that's just, yeah, that's what 1080p looks like. Neat. There's a lot of shimmer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? If we turn on anti-aliasing, that's probably what I'm noticing. This game has anti-aliasing on by default. I think we can afford some anti-aliasing, even just like FXAA, better than nothing. Yes,
Really quick request.
that helps a lot. You can make a request, yes?
Plug the screen on the case into your laptop and then put chat on.
Fine. All right, floatplane chat. You guys want your moment in the sun. I get it. You guys pay good money to be able to tell me what to do, I guess. Good old floatplane chat. All right.
Don't show that to me.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Display setting, jeez. All right, nerds. Extend. Man, there's so many problems with my framework right now. I broke the fingerprint sensor. My connection to the display is dodgy, so it flickers once in a while. The good thing about it is that it's all fixable. The bad part is that I don't have time to fix it.
I'll fix it for you.
No, it's okay. Hey, there we go. All right, floatplane chat. Here it comes. There. Are you happy? Are you guys happy? Are you not entertained? I'm kind of in love.
Oh, that's amazing.
This is so cool. Okay, ultimate Twitch gamer setup here. Got the chat built into your case. Ooh. Wait, Harrison, how is this not part of the all-screen PC?
Because we have a better screen.
We have a better screen?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I guess I just spilled the beans. We're doing an all-screen PC. Every component has to have a screen. That was the only requirement for this build. It's not a bad idea, but it's a dumb idea, but you guys like it. Why are there no bots in here? Didn't I practice with bots? Did I screw something up? Okay, practice with bots, does too. Hello? All right, chat on case. Yes. All right. LTT water bottle. You guys are hilarious. It's an expensive idea. Oh yeah, it's definitely an expensive idea. There's no bots. Where are my bots? Is there a command to spawn bots? I'm confused. You know what? It doesn't really matter. My lunch is here, and I'm sure everyone else is done with this too. Thank you so much for tuning into this stream. I'm actually kind of amazed at how long you guys hung with us while I struggled my way through getting this display. Totally worth it though, right? Totally worth it. 500 freaking hertz. Don't miss the review tomorrow. And I think that's it. I will bid you now adieu. Happy Tuesday. Have a great rest of your week. I will stand awkwardly. Or stand, as you put it. Oh, David.